Hello, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, or Senstaku, as you might know me on Twitter, the executive producer here, and I just want to thank you for watching. It really means a lot to us that people watch, listen to, and enjoy our shows. If you want to help us keep making these shows as fun and lively as they can be, please join your fellow fans in supporting us at our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms or by subscribing to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/finalshowfilms. It really means a lot to us that the amount of you who do support us continue to do so, especially our $25 plus tier supporters on Patreon. Antitonic, Cat Waterflame, Samantha Bates, Maureen Monty, and Gravity Alexander. Every little bit helps, so thank you to all of our patrons and subs. Check us out on Twitter at Final Show Films and on our website at www.finalshowfilms.com for updates, go-live notifications, and more. We love interacting with you, so feel free to tweet at us or email us at finalshowfilms@gmail.com. That being said, please relax and enjoy. Also, people
Hello, everybody.
I'm going to finish my sentence. Who have previously said that you should get down to Disney World 2 days earlier for the Bachelorette party.
No. A month and a half earlier.
For 2 days.
For 2 days.
Hi,
yes,
everybody.
hello.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the most
Life
serious
happens.
stream ever.
We always come in the middle of things because I'm supposed to give us warnings, just like I do to everybody else.
I gave you a warning. I said John was talking.
Yes, I was.
Are we just adding to this throughout the stream?
We're trying to, but there's a certain
I
upper
think it's
limit.
going to be tough with a cat on his lap.
If I throw
Yeah,
this.
lob it up there.
Yes.
It's metal, too.
Throw the half-ounce metal die.
Just brain the man.
So, hello, everybody,
Nice.
and
Oh,
welcome
look
back
at
to
that.
I
Untethered.
want to use it so badly, but
Just
we're
use it
playing
as a
Cthulhu.
sling bullet.
Yeah, I mean,
Austin is desperately trying to start this episode.
I'm sorry, husband. I'm
It's
so
cool.
sorry.
It's the norm.
nobody's here anyway. Or are there?
Wait, who's Norm?
The robot from Phineas and Ferb.
Yes, he certainly is.
So,
I was about to nod in agreement, but
He doesn't have a hat tonight, so we got to deal with this.
welcome to Untethered,
I am
Call
not
of Cthulhu.
enchanted.
Call it
You can
Cthulhu.
put a cat on your head.
Our group of system-wandering individuals, mostly heroes, sometimes exceptions to that rule.
Well, the one big exception to the rule isn't currently here.
Yes, I am.
I was going to say, I would not call him... Faust is actually more of a hero than
Faust or
Galadir.
Tarell?
You mean Torel?
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you're talking about Faust or
I
Tarell
was
here.
thinking Faust, but that's me.
Faust has aspects of, like, Faust is an anti-hero, which is a kind of hero. Terrell
It's
is
nuts.
a psychopath, and Galadir is just,
A sociopath.
I'm here to get, yes, I'm a sociopath. I'm a high-functioning sociopath.
Yeah.
Sandra, I would actually call a hero.
Sandra's a hero. Yi is absolutely a hero.
He is a hero in his own mind.
Duncan...
And in the minds of others.
You
So
have to be
congratulations.
successful to be a hero in the mind of others.
He is.
So, when
I mean,
last we left off,
he's a hero in Faust's mind, but that doesn't mean quite as much.
our group... That's not a good thing for Faust necessarily. It's like, huh.
That's just another organizational bin.
Basically,
I'll
yeah.
put you in the hero waste bin. Alright,
So last week,
so when last we left off, our security team had gone down to investigate the room of Scott Thrush because he was a little bit dead, and they were going to check to see if the signs of his death were consistent with the room in which the captain died
The
in.
temperature rises so suddenly just in this room.
yes.
Localized temperature rising. It happens.
What?
Because of the heater over there. It's down the hall.
Yeah, so not in this room.
No, but it's,
I mean,
close enough.
if you're looking at it from like a carpet cleaning perspective, that's a separate room.
That's true, but I'm not cleaning carpets.
Technically, that's also a separate room. We cut the room off at that corner
You cut the room? Why?
because
Because that's they
Yeah.
because you can throw people away that way. This is a compound room in that there's this room right here that ends at that corner, and it has another room attached to it. even though there's no wall between it.
So, is this related to the room that we're going to?
No, not at all.
Okay, so
I
what does
I mean, the
room look
carpets
like
were
that we're going
cleaned in
to?
that room.
So, in other
That's
news,
true.
our the rest of our group
Partay.
had gone and spoken with some ghosts. And I use the word "spoken" loosely. They communicated via tablet.
Can I make a retroactive occult roll to see how useful I would have been if I had been here?
Sure.
Next time we bring a Ouija board.
1 out of 54.
You know a whole lot about ghosts.
I would have been very useful if I had been here.
Presumably, you're with the security team, which is why.
Well, I was with them, and then I just wasn't here in person.
Well, they rejoined. So presumably, when they split back off, you saw what happened in the room, and you're like, I'm going to go check for occult stuff down in Scott Thrush's room to see if that happened.
Sure, we'll say that happened.
We'll say that happened.
We'll say that's
Because
how
we never made it there.
We'll say that's how it went.
We'll even use your occult roll for it.
Hey,
You're
well, it's a 1%.
Yeah. So, you guys, again, reach the room of Scott Thrush.
Open it up.
It opens and
It's a door.
it's...
Open said door.
You use your override code,
Yeah.
walk inside. It is, once again, immaculate room. Everything is in its place.
The body's on autopsy right now.
Yeah, the body is an autopsy.
So no chance of examining.
Do we know where... I mean, do we have pictures of where the body was found and all that stuff? Did they...
Yes, they chalk outlined it for you.
Photographed out there, so- Yes, I know.
No. So I'm going to share this on stream. I've shared this before. Sorry to pause in the middle of our very serious game.
Unless it involves people having to shoot wild hogs to protect their kids.
No, it involves reviews of our podcast.
Okay.
So we have been getting lots of 5-star reviews on our podcasts, which has been really good, statistically speaking. The thing is,
Never actually bought reviews?
well, let me just read one.
I think we had this
it's
talk
supposed to-
like
so
3 or
we
4
put
weeks
it in the
ago.
wrong place.
Here's one. So, 5-star review titled Sound Advice from Live Life Full 007 in United Kingdom. Thanks, Paul, for taking the time to share your experiences in life to help others when they're feeling down in the dumps or looking for sound advice during challenging times. I go for long walks to clear the cobwebs and find your dulcet tones help me through the highs and lows of life.
Do they just assume that everyone who has a podcast is named Paul?
We have no one in Final Show Films named Paul.
You see, that is super interesting to me, though, because I would think if you're bot reviewing and you're just putting spam up, that you would avoid proper nouns.
Maybe someone just accidentally commented on the wrong thing.
I'm also curious, because, I'm not paying for these, so I don't know why they're all 5 stars. Such a great podcast, easy to listen to and helpful in learning to become who you were truly meant to be. This is on our actual play review podcast, but this is on our actual play podcast line, by the way, not like critical thinking or anything like that. Not one that it would make sense for
Which episode is it?
These are just general reviews of the podcast, not of any specific
okay.
episodes.
Well, look, maybe you were meant to be a dragon-slaying hero, and listening to people roleplay it has helped you discover, I am going to go buy a sword and make a species of lizard extinct.
Maybe you were meant to be just like Tara.
Don't take life advice from Tara.
5 stars from Babs Rosa in Portugal. I've been listening to this podcast for over a year and I think it's great. It's helped me a lot with maturing and processing emotions. But it mainly helped me to understand other people's emotions and reasons to act in a certain way. 100% recommend.
This is the inside the mind of a sociopathic killer.
5 stars from 06/16/1971 in the United States. That bot forgot to get a name. You make more sense than anyone I've ever heard.
Well, yeah, it does. I mean...
This one might be real, and if this one is real, I apologize. But 5 stars from Zen Joanna for me in the United States. Grateful for this most amazing podcast.
You see that one?
That one might be
totally
real.
be real.
That one sounds legit. Awesome, we got a real one.
Maybe. It's
Maybe.
probably a bot.
Maybe.
And if you're not a bot, I apologize.
Maybe
You
it's a
sound like a
cyborg.
bot.
If you're not a bot, thank you. We appreciate, and we would love to know how we can do even better.
5 stars from iPod Annie in Canada.
iPod Annie.
I just started listening about 2 months ago, and I love it. You make me laugh, and I am learning so much. I like that you give concrete examples and even personal ones. You are this is someone writing a thesis paper for college.
Yes.
You are authentic and vulnerable, and this is so refreshing and mostly helpful. Mostly helpful.
Except when Torrell hits things with the shard of glass.
I have listened to
My
both of your.
stab.
I have listened to both of your podcasts, LNA and OB. I don't know what the fuck that means. God has a special mission for you to help do many. Sorry, God has a special mission for you to help do many people.
Do many.
I will agree with that. God bless Keep Calm in podcast.
Well, we never keep calm. Not once.
Sorry. God has a special mission for you to help too many people. Okay.
You never can tell.
So,
We
Moving
do have,
on.
sorry, one last one before we go on.
Back to Avatar.
We do have a 3-star review.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
We do have a 3-star
They
review.
listen to you specifically.
From the original Glaz in the United States. Whatever the original Glaz is. I give your podcast 3 rising stars because I understand what you are trying to do.
Can you tell us?
I don't fucking know. I am your target audience.
Are you?
I like your content and hope to continue listening when I can. Your experiences and viewpoints are similar to my own in many ways, so it's nice to hear someone speaking out sympathetically.
Get help.
The only thing that I find challenging about your presentation is the sheer volume of time that it takes to listen through to the end of an episode. I appreciate
this
that
is a real one.
This is a real one. I appreciate that your stories are
This
told
is us.
empathetically, but perhaps a copy editor might help you be a bit more concise. Good luck. Thanks for putting yourself out there. It's very courageous.
Yeah, Austin, you need a copy editor.
Come on, Austin. Where's our copy editor for all of this improv that we're doing? Oh, I'm sharing all of these on the Slack.
All right. So,
One pops up without
And the
my
room is still
eyeballs.
clear.
yes, it's a very clean room, and there's a chalk outline of what looks to be a man who just laid down and died.
Okay, fine.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
Yes.
Do the viewers know who we are?
We should introduce ourselves.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got
Oh.
a little sidetracked. I'd blame that, but I'd already started it.
That he has a name.
Yes, but I can't always remember it.
It's just a shaggy dog in the corner, really.
Speaking of that, though, what is your name?
I forgot. Hi everyone, I'm John, the executive producer here that goes through all the reviews we get on our Zencast and shares it with everyone. And also I'm playing Galadir Alunai, the space wizard.
And on his left.
Hi, I am getting my name.
Confused?
Sorry, I'm Horatio.
Horatio Hornblower.
What am I? I'm Holly. I'm playing Sandra Rosa.
What am I?
She's in our purse. Next.
All right, sitting across from you.
Uh-oh.
Hi, I'm Zach. I'm playing Yutarasu, the ship's counselor.
And the Tower of Hats.
If that doesn't fall,
Dice.
I'm gonna start throwing dice at it.
Sitting across and to the right.
Oh, to his right. Okay, yeah. Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Gora Hozuki, the security officer.
And on the opposite corner.
That would be the other security officer. I'm playing Stan. No, I'm not playing Stan. Stan is playing Duncan.
Are we
I've
sure?
got it written down right here. I just don't read it.
And the individual with the flowers that always remind me of that game that I cannot remember the name of, but you meet Manny the demon and you go on a revolution to overthrow the bureaucracy that is preventing people from going on to the appropriate afterlife by stealing their double-end tickets.
My name is Manny Calavera,
Yes.
and I am not a demon. I'm a skeleton. Thank you very much.
No.
There is a demon in it.
Yes.
But that's not, his name isn't Manny.
His name's not Manny. No, it's not.
Grim Fandango.
It's Grim
Grim
Fandango.
Fandango. Sorry. I'm really awful with names. I don't know if anyone's noticed that before.
And specifically, the reason why that shirt reminds you of Grim Fandango
Yes, I know why. Because of the floral shop and the blooming. In
is
people.
because it's a...
You sprout people.
Is it?
Holly, don't break
Yeah.
things.
It's specifically meant to emulate. Isn't that meant... That looks to me like it's meant to emulate Dia de los Muertos.
I've never
That's the
played
art
it.
style.
Does Stay Fresh mean anything to that game?
No.
I didn't break it.
Then probably
No,
just
not
the
yet.
design.
It's probably Dia de los Muertos.
The
like,
design...
design.
Because those are calaveras. Those are calaveras. The skulls are.
Yeah, that's the whole design.
Yeah.
Please
Okay.
don't lose all the dice, too.
I can't throw. Because I'm aiming for the dice tower every time.
One of them went quite clearly over Rudy's head. I was impressed by how off that was.
I know, and it hit glass.
So,
I tried.
I'm
That's
gonna
what's
look
so
for
sad
fingerprints.
about it.
I don't care.
you're going to look for fingerprints?
I don't see
So-
any.
Alright.
I'm
Sure.
I didn't actually introduce myself.
No, you didn't. Because we got distracted by the
Oh.
Grim Fandango of your shirt.
Hey, I'm Paul. I'm playing Paul. I'm the Paul of the ship.
We found Paul!
Thank you, Paul, for your insight and kind words.
Not a problem. I'm actually Rudy, playing Kyle, the author of this group on the ship.
Now, we call
Whatever
him
you
Rudy.
say, Paul.
Are you the author?
But he is-
Are you the author?
You
of
need
this
a
madness?
copy editor, apparently.
Apparently.
He is secretly the Paul.
But the copy editor is Paul.
I think for our next characters, we should all play Paul.
mascot is Paul.
I
My-
too
my
am
class.
Paul.
I too am Paul.
My class is Paul.
I am Paul. No, I'm Paul. No, I'm Paul.
My alignment is true Paul.
Remove his brain.
Hello, I'm Paul. My class is Paul. My race is Paul. I'm the Paul archetype.
My alignment is true Paul.
No, I'm more chaotic Paul.
Does Paul have perfect Bab or sub-perfect Bab?
I assume Paul's a perfect Bab class with, like, you know, ranger level spell casting. You cast from the Paul list, of course.
Yeah, obviously.
The Paul list is only the Paul list.
Well, this has been a very appalling turn we've taken.
Pretty appalling.
Okay, and with that aside,
When the puns start, Austin's done.
You need to make sure they're proficient with heavy armor so they can wear pauldrons.
Also, if they serve on the,
You're about to start like losing sanity really soon.
no, the DM is losing sanity.
Well, no, because if they serve on the plane of order, then they're Paul drones.
So, the three of you are in a room with the chalk outline, and it's
Yes.
very clean.
Yes, okay. So everything's in place, and
This guy has OCD to an extreme, so it's hard to tell. But is there anywhere that looks like the things there haven't been moved for a very long time? Like he put them in their perfect place and then left them there and never touched them again?
Roll me spot hidden.
35 of 50.
not me.
So the problem is the only way to tell that would be by dust settling, really, or signs of wear. Everything in here is immaculate and without dust.
Yeah. So there's nothing that seems like it would be not have been touched, but is also lacking dust.
Yeah, because that's how you tell if something has been touched,
Yeah.
is it has signs of wear and it lacks dust.
I'm occulting things with my warrior
Yes.
set.
So, looking around the room for anything occult. You roll a 1.
Yes. To definitively determine there's no occult here.
Everything in this room is in patterns of 12.
Oh, okay.
Every bookcase has exactly 12 books on it. The bookcases, the way that they're patterned is there are 3 bookcases, each with 4 shelves on it, which is 12 sets of those. Little things. There are, for example, if you go into the bed, the way that the sheets have been folded, there are 12 pleats, which is weird because you don't typically pleat things.
Yeah.
He has 12 outfits in his closet.
Does it mean anything to me other than someone with a severe OCD?
So this could be an OCD thing, but numerology is a major occult sign as well.
Yeah.
And your presumption is based on the fact that it's not just patterns, but the number of things, and this was not in the captain's room, you would presume that Scott Thrush had some obsession with the number 12. Whether that's a cult or just an OCD thing.
Does the number 12 like line up with anything that I've read or know about Krator?
You don't know much about Krator.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of writing about him.
I'm just saying about anything that I know that I've learned previously. I don't know if anything had, if I'm personally forgetting something that popped up or not.
There are a variety of. There's a variety of numerological things behind the number 12.
Yeah.
It's typically the cycle of reincarnation. Also, in some instances, it is the number of completeness. 12 is complete. Which could date back to either the base 6 that the Babylonians used, Sumerians used. There's also a variety of instances where it shows up in religion.
Yeah.
The number 12 being complete.
Complete, making things perfect.
Yeah, that's why.
Definitely a connection.
Well, that's why I was thinking because he was also someone who was like constantly talking about how like the genetics of our food needed to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And if we've determined that if someone is like this is me as the player, not a character, but like if we've determined that the servant of Krator and whoever's eating things are 2 different entities, then someone who is trying to make things perfect, which we previously established was Krator's objective, might be connected there, and still not be the person eating things.
Yeah, because it was Starn specifically made the mention that there was a servant of Krator and the servant of Krator's monster.
Though whether or not that was being legit or just making a joke at the Frankenstein versus Frankenstein monster, who knows? So looking around, seeing the rapidly. Don't touch anything.
Why?
Everything here is in order.
So?
A specific order. Then I'll start pointing out the series. I'll start pointing out the series of 12s. And, as I'm looking around.
Is there like a desk? Or...
You'll notice that you can also find as you look through the book titles, if you add the number of words in the title of each book on a given shelf, it adds up to a multiple of 12, like 48 or 60.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's Magic Square's level of
It's 12s all the way down.
12s all the way down and all the way back up.
So yeah. With that in mind, I'm going to see if I'm going to look around for any aberration to that 12. Any place where that 12 doesn't exist. Considering that it's everywhere.
So, the things that there aren't 12 of, there's 1 of.
Yeah.
He has 1 table with 1 chair and 1 bed.
Does his table have drawers?
No, but he does. It seems like he's got the bookcases, and he hangs everything else up. And then he has those little storage boxes. He's got 12 of those.
Are any of the books, you said that their names out to 12, any that don't?
At any given shelf, if you go through each one, it all adds up to a multiple of 12.
Okay, so
this shelf has got
there's no
60 words in the title. This shelf has got 72 words in the title. This shelf has got 48 words in the title.
Yeah. I'm just looking for like the one standing out, like any outliers, but there's not apparently. Okay.
What kind of books are they? Are they of certain subjects or just fiction or what kinds of things?
So he doesn't have any fiction. It looks like he's got the cases are split into 3 distinct genres. He's got one book of science, a lot of genetics, though he's got a lot of genetics and chemistry. He's got a little bit on the way of physics and astronomy. He's got one shelf that is histories, encyclopedias on what has occurred in the past, commentaries on different events relating to. If you go back through it, most of the histories seem to focus on the Industrial Revolution forward. It'll have a whole lot of ancient history books. And then his final shelf is pardon me as my brain just stops for a second. His final shelf is entirely full of entomology. Different languages, the origin of words, things discussing the evolution of language. It seems less like books you would use to learn a language and more like books that a linguist would use to study how languages developed and evolved. And they're all written in English.
I'm going to go to the 12th chest and open it up.
Okay. It's a little
storage locker.
that yay big. You open it up, and it contains 12 glasses.
Like glasses?
Drinking glasses.
Drinking glasses. Okay.
They're tumblers. They're pristine shaped. They're in little foam insets.
Anything particular about them?
Nope.
Close that. Look at the one next to it. Open it up.
You open it up.
Mm-hmm.
It has got an assortment of what look to be scientific research things. Small blood gathering supplies.
Okay, like samples.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not samples, things that you would take samples
things
with.
you take samples with.
Little vials that you could take leaf cuttings with, little things that you could draw blood with.
Okay. Close that back. So either somebody rearranged this all, it's part of his particulars, or it's related to something to do with his death. Number 12, numerology in various occult teachings, number 12 is considered a perfect number. There's so many reoccurrences of it within our history and society.
So, I mean, out of game, because my character wouldn't have this thought, but your character might,
Yeah.
is in a sequence of 12, is there a sacred or is there an important number in that sequence of 12?
Other than 12?
Other than the complete set of 12,
Yeah,
is there,
yeah.
if you're building up to 12, is there a specific spot in that sequence that is either particularly important or particularly dangerous?
It depends on your religious affirmations or that sort
I
of
imagine
thing. Typically speaking,
6 and 12 are the two more important ones. But
yeah, I mean, it depends. You know, if you're looking at it from ancient Sumerian thought, yes, 6 base 6 go to 12 was important. If you're looking at it from the viewpoint of Christianity, which has the number 12 occur a lot, you know, you've got 3, 7, and 12 are your good numbers, and then 6 is the number 666 is the number of man. So 6 can be looked at differently. If you're looking at it through other numerologies, it's more this 12 is the completion of the cycle, reincarnation.
For the most part, 6 seems to be the point of overlap for the most of those. So I'm going to check box number 6.
Okay.
So does anything?
You open up box number 6 and it's empty.
Leaving that open, I'm going to check box number 3 and 2.
Box number 3 contains a variety of hygiene items, soaps, toothpaste, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. And 2.
Box number 2 contains a clothes iron.
And then 7.
Box number 7 contains an assortment of eating utensils.
Okay, so close all those, leave 6 open. Check the 6th aspect of any of these sequences.
Start with
Looking at
books.
6s. Yeah.
Okay, so
Well,
if you go...
If I just start taking books down and opening them up, they are actually books. They're
They
not
are
cut
books.
out. They're not cut out.
They
to
are
store
actual
anything.
books.
Okay.
They are in perfect condition. The spines are perfectly even, all that sort of stuff.
Right.
Also, they are actual books. Which is kind of weird in its first place, because there's no
Yeah.
I've
So
got some books. I imagine the scientists in general tend to have most of the
collecting
books, but-
books is an eccentric quality because most things are done via tablet,
Yeah.
but it's not unusual. It's more just,
You're old-fashioned.
it's not even old-fashioned. It's more, people collect books as an aesthetic. Books are an aesthetic in this day and age, but there has been a small resurgence, especially you've got authors and stuff who the feel of a paper book is nice. Also, any sort of fiction, because of the way that databases are written, you are encouraged to keep fiction, like popular fiction being written on the ship, in book form, because it is highly discouraged by the motherships, and so it's typically distributed in hardcover form for preventing anyone from being like, "Hey, you're slacking off. You should, if you've got time to write fiction, you've got time to do
work. Yeah.
to do work." So, books are a novelty, but not an uncommon one.
Novelty.
He's trying to ignore you.
I'm doing a very bad job of it. Hey, that at least glanced my hair.
Yeah, it's going right across. I tried to knock the tower over for you. It didn't work.
It
Yeah,
brushed
anyway.
my hair.
Got closer than I did.
Yeah, I brushed his hair with a penny.
So
One day I'm just gonna take the shot. I'm like, not gonna take the hand.
You're the one that worries me, honestly.
most of the things are not particularly investigatable. You know,
Yeah,
he's got
I
his
know.
6th
There's
outfit, that sort of thing. You go back to the books. You go to shelf number 6, which is on the second shelf, so it's histories, and you pull out book number 6,
Yeah.
and what you've got is a history talking about rural farm life in the UK during the Edwardian era. Early 1900s.
Yeah.
Who pulled that book out?
He pulled it out.
Um,
Because you told him to check that
Yeah,
out.
I was.
yeah.
I assume we were all
Checking
stuff.
6s. Yeah.
Huh?
The farm on Krator.
And wasn't that from Georgia?
I mean, yeah, but
Yes.
still.
Yeah. But, I mean, it would be a precursor of...
Do you show it to the two of them?
yeah, as long as you just mention it, that's what it is. It's just a thing on farming.
Make me an idea roll.
Yeah. I mean, it's a book on farming
Well, from the
from a
Prior.
period very specifically related
just before.
to. Yeah.
Well, no.
Well, no,
It was
after.
After. Yeah.
26 of 85.
That would have been pretty contemporaneous to when Eilor, that whole debacle
Yeah.
where Eilor was
You know, that's
discovered in a rural farming village in the UK and then rooted out.
Oh, Yellow was discovered in the.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he was gone.
Yeah, that would be where Yellow was discovered, or contemporaries to the area and time frame. Okay, so that's not a coincidence then. That our what was he? A botanist? Yeah.
Yes.
That our botanist had a book about a farm in the era in which Yailor once existed, connected to another farm, which connects it to the farm that we found on Praetor. He also took the ashes from all the vegetation that was burnt.
Right, yeah. So he's... I don't know.
I wonder if the ashes were in the 6 box.
There would be no trace.
He took the ashes in a waste bin.
Yeah, I think
he
they were in a
took
waste bin.
that.
But then, he could have put them in that box at some point, and then they would have been removed. Because there's nothing else in there.
But then cleaned out, so... Yeah.
And it would have left the traces, so there's no way to tell, but... with this information, could I connect him to the servant of Krator or something? Or no? This seems definitely more Yailor related.
I mean, he's got aspects of both. I mean, he's a botanist, he works with plants, but he's got more of the perfection that would fit with Krator.
Yeah. Okay. Operate under this assumption. If Thrush was the servant of Krator, that would explain certain aspects of his behavior, but it wouldn't explain others. But if he's the servant of Krator, then what killed him? And is it related? He also died, but we can remember him, and the rest of the crew can also remember him and knows that he died. So whatever killed him didn't kill him in the same way that it killed the captain or other people.
So at this point, you guys are probably done talking to Tarn.
Yeah, we were going to the road.
You're on the road, okay.
Yeah. Because he didn't think he could sleep yet after everything.
Did we know they were going to talk to Tarn?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to message.
Yes, Sandra said she was going to shove him in the airlock.
At this point in the discussion, I'm going to shoot a message off and see any updates from Tarn. Probably to Chandra.
You get a message.
I'm trying to remember. What did Tarn... I mean, he confirmed that he had a twin.
Yes, he had a twin sister. Talked about how the servant of Krator was on the ship.
That's right.
And was
that's
female
what she
at
was
least
saying.
now.
No, was originally female,
was female when
might
she
not
first
be
arrived.
female right now.
Right.
Right. She will send Galadier a message. Confirmed that he had a twin sister that was erased from everyone's memories. Also, we discovered that the servant of Krator has been on this ship since its departure. Has faked his death several occasions. Slipped into new bodies, I'm guessing. Was originally a girl. We do not know current gender.
So reading through all that, could Thrush have died not because the servant of Krator, not because of any other supernatural incidents, but simply in order to switch bodies? I say out loud to the other two. And then I'll show the information.
It's...
OCD,
Yeah.
striving for perfection. I say out of character.
That does.
Has anybody else suddenly developed very clear and sudden signs of those similar behavior?
Well, there's no particular way that he died. So, yeah.
and they can but we can still remember him, so we know it wasn't whatever is killing other people. And other people can still remember him, I should say, because I don't think we're affected by it anymore. But so we know it's not the no Thrush didn't die in the same way that others did. There's definitely a connection to.
And he very particularly had to incinerate everything of Yidalor.
Yes, and those ashes are missing.
Yeah.
So whatever body he jumped into likely has them.
Or he fed them to his monster that eliminates things.
That too.
Question out of game. Can the servant jump into people's bodies? Is that what we have established?
I don't know. What have you established?
We just
Okay.
established that. It takes
Okay,
over.
sorry. I didn't. Sorry.
All
it
Karn
has-
said was
It has moved from
the
body
servant
to body.
has faked her own death to avoid suspicion and was a woman when boarding the vessel.
Yes.
For all we know, it could be a metamorphosis. It could just be Thrush's body in a cocoon forming a new form.
Or it could be that just reappears every few dozen years as a new person or whatever. Like, but operating off of assumptions that can be made, it's entirely possible
Are
that.
there any children on the
How
It's
quick?
driving me nuts now.
How quick on the schedule is biopsy in terms of the autopsy? Like how quick do they cut the body open?
Typically day one is going to be external examination, and they're going to chill and preserve, and then they're going to cut the body open and start investigating things if foul play is suspected.
Yeah, you don't typically do internal.
Yeah,
Unless you need to.
unless you have a reason to be looking for something.
The body could be a cocoon.
Definitely could be.
Now, worth noting, because you would know this, when bodies are disposed of, they are turned into their base elements because you can't waste elements like carbon and stuff. It's too valuable. So once it's determined that there's no more information to be gained from the body, bodies can be incinerated.
And then taken to the botanist.
And yes, and then converted into soil.
And then given to me.
Yes. Well, I mean, you know.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
they'll eventually eat some of it.
Yeah, I don't want to think
Well,
too
we
thoroughly about all
don't.
that.
No, the trace elements
Yeah,
get
I know.
absorbed
They
by
absorb
other
by
plants.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
I mean, it's the
But
same thing as
recycled, like
you
everything.
pee into a
Yeah,
toilet
so, like, it's the same
and then
thing.
the water goes through several filters and then you drink it the next day
Yeah.
Yes.
because you.
In case you didn't know what we were doing for this whole trip.
But it's not pee anymore.
No, it's not.
It's just water.
It's water because they take all the.
It's the cycle of water.
Well, I was thinking more the whole
Matter can't be
being
created or
absorbed.
destroyed,
I was-
and energy can't be lost.
I was thinking the more of, like, being absorbed by, like, the soil and stuff, the circle of
Yes.
life. But yes.
Matter can't be created and destroyed as far as we're aware. You have to add that onto it because it's like, because there's still questions that haven't been answered.
Yeah, everything is a theory.
Until it's been proven. Anyways.
Even gravity's just a
That's
theory.
what I know.
Yeah, because we don't know what makes it.
The string theory is pretty popular.
But it's kind of strange.
I prefer string cheese theory.
Yeah, no, string
Yes.
cheese theory is improved. It's not a theory anymore. It's law.
I don't
String
want to live
cheese
in a
law.
world where I'm made of string cheese. That would
Tough.
feel unsettling.
That's the future, Zachary.
How do you know you're not already living in a
So
world?
is it not the present?
How do you know you're not already living in a world where you're made of string cheese?
It's 10 dimensions. We're a little iffy on how that all works out.
On which dimension I am made of string cheese in?
Yes.
Got it.
Anyway,
I mean, we've never bitten into you, so we can't say for certain you're not already.
Nope, not string cheese. Definitely not.
Didn't bite hard enough.
The top guy moved forward on that. one.
regardless, we were exploring the universe. You
Yes.
were.
So, sorry. We have a couple of different options that could be going on here. Either the servant of Krator was Thrush and decided to transpose into a different individual, either the servant of the Creator can take, potentially the servant of the Creator can take over existing bodies or has to grow a new one in the carcass of the old, or it can simply just demanifest from whatever host it's currently occupying and then decide to take over a new one at a later date. It could be material, it could be... There are just too many options. You need to figure out a way to narrow this down. One way we could narrow it down would be to perform an autopsy.
Oh, to see if it's not a cocoon type thing.
Just to confirm what what happened to the body in thorough.
Yeah, okay.
Who's in charge of doing the autopsy if there is one?
I imagine one of the medical team, like Tarn.
Tarn would perform the autopsy. It would be ordered by the chief of security.
And we wouldn't be able to trust him anyway, so it doesn't matter.
You'd need to figure out a way to get the chief of security to
Unless you were able to convince
To be a part of it.
Maureen O'Card that for whatever reason, Ellis Way would be the appropriate person to perform the autopsy because she is a doctor.
Okay. So we try to talk.
Because Maureen O'Card would order the autopsy, and presumably she would choose the highest ranking medical officer and the surgeon. But we do have 2 medical officers.
I mean, convincing the autopsy to be ordered is as simple as convincing Maureen that there's something suspicious about the body.
Right.
or that there's something suspicious left behind in the room.
But we have to keep Tarn out of it.
Typically, the only thing that would
there.
stop it would be if family had a reason to object to it.
Thrush doesn't have any family as far as we know.
He has an aunt.
On ship?
Yes. He was born here.
Who is his aunt?
She's an engineer.
Aunt is the servant of Kratos.
Doreen. Doreen Thrush.
Dorian.
Not like Dorian. No, not the portrait of Dorian Gray. Doreen. D-O-R-E-E-N.
Durian Thrush?
Durian?
That would be so painful. To have thrush, but it's just durians in your sores.
No. Sorry. You currently have oral thrush. It's not delightful.
Just Dorian's growing in your mouth.
No, please stop. Okay, I'm in enough pain without.
Without Dorian involved.
Please. Mean people.
Sorry. I apologize. No one else does, but
Yeah, apologize.
Regardless.
So, that performing an autopsy and getting the data back is the easiest way to eliminate a number of the options.
We can be in the
that we
room
have.
during the autopsy. Maybe that would.
Could you be in the room during the Wait. Ooh. I have an idea.
It could be.
I do have an idea. If we can suggest that there's some sort of contaminant in the room, which would be enough to indicate that an autopsy needs to be performed, it would also be enough to indicate that somebody from the science team would need to be present for the autopsy in order to identify the contaminants, which would get around time being able to lock any of us out of the autopsy.
Yeah.
Just Tarn doesn't care. Tarn doesn't necessarily care,
Are you
but
the senior scientist?
he's not going to help us.
Yeah.
What?
Are you the senior member of the science team?
Yes.
Yes, I'm the senior member of the science team.
So you'd be the one chosen to be.
That might be.
Present.
That might work.
That's why he's a lieutenant.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Because he is in charge of science on the ship.
Do we need a security officer present in case it stands up and starts walking out?
No. Unfortunately.
I'm pretty sure you've already got the two best people on the ship for dealing with that anyway in the room, so...
I need to call Sandra.
Hmm?
I need to call Sandra.
Okay.
I call Sandra.
Ring, 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 ring.
Banana
Banana phone.
Oh, so close!
In a minute, I'm just gonna walk over there and knock it over.
More fun this way, though.
Hello?
I bounced off your head.
Yes?
Sandra,
I can feel it. It was right
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
Could
We were
you-
right next to the tower.
could you
I aimed
very
a little
quickly deliver a
A little further right.
innocuous but potentially dangerous foreign substance to Thrush's room?
Well, what would you define as that? Because we're about to go get coffee.
Anything that is not immediately apparent as to what it is, thus could potentially be a lethal contaminant. We need to get an excuse to have an autopsy performed, and for having the head of the science team present for the autopsy.
What would you two? She'll turn to Yi and Kyle. What would you guys like define as? What was the word? Lethal.
A
lethal.
Actually innocuous but seemingly lethal foreign contaminant.
Lethal foreign contaminant.
Magnesium.
But like one that
Is this a
like
call with
actually,
Galadier?
yes, it is.
Who's he trying to frame?
Something that looks dangerous but isn't.
I'm not okay.
Are you with Yi?
Hey, yeah, I'm okay.
Put
Hey,
Yi on the phone.
Galadier. We were about to go to the Rogue. Why don't you guys meet us there, okay? And then we can discuss this. It's going to be basically empty. All right. Why don't we just all discuss lethal things and whatnot together in person?
I look over at you guys. How long do we have this room for?
Oh,
I mean, we're security team. We can get in
We can
whenever
get
we
in
need to.
anytime we want.
No one's coming back here
Yeah,
till
we
the
can hit it in
morning at latest,
We
or
can-
earliest.
Okay, we'll meet up at the room.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, I can get
We're on
that.
shift right now.
Okay, so we're gonna meet them at the Rogue and discuss plans. But I think that's probably the best way to eliminate some amount of the information that we need to eliminate.
Okay, yeah, sure, whatever.
Okay, they're gonna meet us at the Rogue,
Let's go meet up.
Makes sense.
and we can figure out what in the world Galadier is talking about.
Never a dull moment.
I'm still on duty.
We all meet up at the Rogue.
Alright. You all go to
Larger
the
object
Rogue.
easy to hit with.
And you get there first, Sandra. The door
With
is locked.
them?
Yes, with them. The door is locked, but you know how to get in.
You have a key.
Break one. Key.
Huh, door's locked. Oh, it's okay, you have a key, right? Yeah, key!
This is not an old-timey saloon.
Old-timey saloons don't have windows.
We're not going to walk in slowly and then exactly one board creaks and then everyone just looks our direction as glowing eyes in the darkness.
That's next week.
Use my key.
You
Actually,
slide in, yeah.
sorry.
Slide your key. Door opens.
Why is it working? Because it's a slide card. Oh, right.
That makes sense. That's why it's a card.
You walk in. Lights are off. Hit the button. Lights come on. Tables are all. Yes!
That's a really
Victorious!
big ball you had to use.
I'd like to know that the base is still on his head.
I hit it dead center in the tower.
My hat has only grown stronger!
I want to stay.
Regardless, you.
There's a hole.
Just inverted.
There's supposed to be a hole somewhere.
There you go.
Ah, there we go. That's what I was looking for.
It has only grown stronger.
Has it though?
Stronger in a glass cannon sense.
Its attack went up, its defense went down.
Drastically.
Alright, so we encounter an empty room.
Encounter an empty room.
The
Yeah.
bar.
Roll for initiative?
You don't roll for initiative in the system.
That went real far back, too.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Okay, guys. Pick a table, shove tables together, whatever you want.
I begin.
What do you want to eat or drink?
Ooh.
I can make most things.
Spam.
You're
Not here yet. I'm not taking that request.
It's just the Monty Python song. Spam, 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 spam.
Baked beans are off.
Something with caramel? I don't know.
What?
Something with caramel? Surprise me, I don't know.
I mean, okay, where are we talking? Like dessert or like caramel coffee?
Coffee,
Or like a
definitely
savory
coffee.
dish with caramel in it.
Yes.
Because I am up for a challenge.
I mean, if you're up to a challenge, I'm up to being surprised.
But definitely coffee.
Make a cooking roll.
That's gonna be really interesting. There isn't cooking on this.
No, there isn't.
It's
Probably art craft.
What
Art
kind
craft.
of? There's all kinds of
Yeah.
food here and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! I know what I'm doing. Okay, so she's gonna make coffee. She'll make like
What would be
caramel
first
coffee.
aid?
And no, she's gonna make sushi. Caramel sushi.
Caramel sushi.
Oh God!
Yes, yes.
No!
With chocolate.
Why?
Chocolate and caramel sauce.
I mean, she'll make some normal sushi too.
Why?
Why not?
All right.
Because
Let's
you
make
ain't
a
tried it
cooking
yet,
roll.
that's
That is not a
What
taste
would
that goes
cooking be
together.
There are
It can be.
there's a
Actually,
variety
rice,
of
if
artistic
you put sugar on
expressions.
rice,
Art craft.
Yes.
you can. I mean, it's actually edible.
Yes, but you don't put caramel on the raw fish on top.
Well, you don't,
You don't have to put raw fish for it
on
to be sushi.
You can have
There's
it
no
with
chance
spam.
I can
no
use
fish.
my first aid for this.
No, this is not first aid.
A craft
Could
cover.
I use botany?
No.
It'd probably be art craft.
Yeah, I don't have
No,
art craft.
first
I
aid
mean,
would
you have
not quite
5%.
work.
You got a 5% chance.
Or survival.
no, no,
Survival is
no,
also
it's
an
gotta be-
option, I guess. I'm thinking.
Hey, does this
Not
coffee
for
smell like
caramel
chloroform to
sushi.
you?
Not for caramel sushi.
If you just wanted to make coffee though, for survival.
I'm gonna. You can just make coffee. There's not a skill required for making coffee.
But for
There
caramel
shouldn't
sushi.
be- I mean,
56 of 5%.
yes.
All right.
What happens when you fail at making caramel sushi, Austin?
I feel like she should have some sort of cooking thing because she does help out at the Rogue.
Like,
right.
you probably have some
You-
amount of skill at basic cooking. But
Yeah.
This is not
Yeah.
basic cooking.
Caramel
okay.
sushi is not basic cooking.
No, it's like basic sushi and then like you drizzle caramel over
Drizzle
the
caramel
top.
on
There's no
it.
such thing as
Okay.
basic sushi in the
Yeah,
first
I
place.
mean,
Okay,
it's a vegetable
let me just take.
sushi.
If I took basic sushi and a basic caramel sauce and I put them together,
It would be
That's
fine.
what you'd get,
It'd be fine.
which
which
Yes.
is exactly what you did.
Okay.
It's a California roll
bad,
with
right?
caramel
It's
sauce.
gonna be really
Yes.
bad.
Do you
That would be
taste it?
great.
Yeah.
That'd
Put
be
it in your
great.
mouth. That's. I mean, it's not inedible. It's just
It's
not
weird.
something you desire more of.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Does she make the normal sushi and stuff?
You
Okay.
can make normal.
Okay. Yeah, like she will come out with like a lot of sushi, and one with caramel. And just,
Drizzle with
like-
caramel sauce.
For the more adventurous people, it's caramel sushi. Oh, and here's your coffee. And your coffee. I don't know if you asked me for coffee, but I made you coffee. I've already had like 3. They're really good.
I could always use coffee.
I regret my bizarre
Is there
and impulsive choice of words
By
now.
the time she's
Let
done
me
with
know there's a
caramel,
vending. Is there a vending machine? in the room?
There is
grab-
perfectly
There
good
has to be a
food. I'm
vending
sure
machine
they're,
in the
like,
row.
chips
No,
and stuff.
for a very specific reason. Is there a vending machine in the row?
there's probably like a food dispensary for like your basic ration type stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Would it have like would it in this fantasy world would it have like pre-packaged like branded products in it?
Well, we don't.
Sure.
We would be making.
Because
I-
it amuses me.
I want to go immediately to the vending machine and get a Boss coffee out of it.
So basically, you cook food, and he walks in, and before even looking at your food, just goes straight to the replicator and just instant coffee.
Boss coffee is an instant coffee. Boss coffee
And this-
is a chilled coffee served in a can that has who all their commercials are done with what's his name from Men in Black.
Will Smith?
No.
The other guy.
The other one.
The white one.
Yes.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. All the commercials star
That's
Tommy
funny.
Lee Jones
That's
being a superhuman in Japan. Like throwing a piece of chalk with rocket speeds at a student.
Galadier, I made coffee. Fine.
He does
You don't get coffee or caramel sushi or
I'll
anything.
take one of those coffees.
There. There's also caramel sushi.
She looks down at the sushi.
No, there isn't.
She looks down at the sushi.
There isn't.
I'm gonna go scramble some eggs.
There's normal sushi too.
I grabbed one of the caramel sushis.
Cora goes and scrambles some eggs.
Okay.
Thank you. Kyle's adventurous.
I mean, Most of us already had food that was going to kill us if we didn't do anything. So I think this is I think this is less risky.
You might understand exactly why Galadir is drinking from a boss coffee now.
There's still sushi ingredients upstairs, and we still have a bottle of that
Yes,
caramel
we need to try it.
and stuff. If we just want to emulate this experience for real,
I think
I don't know what that would
try
actually
it.
taste like.
Bad.
we
Bad
can
is the
find
answer.
out.
I don't think it'd be that bad.
Bad is the answer.
I'm sure there's a way to make it taste good.
Yeah.
But caramel sauce on a California roll is not it.
No,
As
that
long
is
as you
correct.
don't
That's absolutely not it.
I do try it, by the way.
You put it in your mouth.
I'll try it.
What were you expecting?
Something it's
Because it's that.
sushi is supposed to fall apart, but caramel's an adhesive. It's
No,
the thing.
sushi's not supposed to
No,
fall
it's
apart.
supposed to stay together.
When you eat it, it's supposed to fall apart.
well,
So now you've turned what's supposed to fall apart in your mouth into
No,
rock
caramel.
candy.
Not exactly.
no,
No,
it's
not.
it's not.
I'm thinking about caramel that you drizzle
sauce.
over
It's
things.
caramel
Yeah,
sauce. It's not.
See
It's
now,
not-
I really want to start
solidified
making the
candy.
sushi roll. Put all the ingredients in before you roll the sushi. Just drizzle the caramel sauce over
right.
everything
Yes.
and then
Drizzle it
roll
inside.
it.
That's
and
what I'm
roll it up.
thinking.
That
Yes.
That might work better than just
Later
like
tonight.
sushi and apply caramel. Anyways, yeah, no, the last time I ate food that was prepared by somebody else, it turned out to have some sort of parasitic seed inside it. So I'm going to stick to canned foods for now.
I've done this before. I work here. Part time.
I would like to clarify that you've never actually made caramel sushi here before.
Yeah, but that doesn't
You
matter.
know that.
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
that doesn't matter.
My
It could be like her
previous
special
statement
dish she
still
makes.
stands. Anyways, so
Gora comes back a few minutes later with just like a pan of scrambled eggs.
And she's got caramel sauce drizzled on top.
Make me a cooking check.
Sure, let's see how well she can scramble eggs.
Burns down the
3.
Ooh. So you get just the perfect dog snot consistency.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a French word for it, but it translates to dog snot, and
I've
that's the
never
texture
watched
you
Scrambled
want.
Eggs again. Thank you, Austin.
you get out a Bain Marie and you mix in some cream and you whisk it and cook it slowly until it's got a very
I need
smooth
to mark that I
and
just
rich
succeeded
cream.
on craft cooking. 1 second. It'll probably never come up, but I get a chance to improve my art craft cooking whenever we get a chance.
So anyways,
If I look up dog snot French eggs, it just says scrambled eggs. Come on, show me the actual word. I can't remember it. It's bothering me now.
French word for dog snot. Just look that up.
Just Google,
This is like
Google
the
Translate will give you something really weird.
yeah. They gave me move right, which is not right. It's like babouche or something.
It'll give you the word for cat snot, which is just totally wrong.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, absolutely.
Who wants cat snot eggs?
That's disgusting. Dog snot. That's where it is. Anyways, so
Babouche.
so
Yeah.
back against the wall, boss coffee in hand.
We also have a table, but of course not.
There's just a table over here.
I continue to stand. I'm on edge.
Bite your kneecaps off into
Gora sets a plate down on the table and just
Why?
just
Because they
like
can.
slaps all
Why
the
would you
scrambled
make
eggs onto
that
it, grabs a second
specific,
plate,
though?
and spoons some off onto her plate.
If
anyone else wants
some
some.
coffee, don't question me right
I'm
now.
starting to sound like Torrell. Maybe
taste
Torrell
that
just
in my
needs to
mouth.
get off the coffee. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the
I mean,
issue.
it's perfectly normal to chew someone's kneecaps off. I don't know. I just want you to sit.
I'd also like to clarify, you haven't slept in a long time.
She's on 5 cups of coffee at this point.
Anyways.
Wait, I thought it was 3 just at the beginning of this conversation.
It was.
It was.
Hey,
This is
what?
a long conversation.
2.
You don't know how she drinks.
Yeah, as you look over, there are 2 more empty cups.
In a minute, there's like a pot.
It's just like the cups keep growing.
Yeah, she's not refilling her cup.
yeah,
She's
why
getting
don't
a
you-
new cup
yeah,
every
yeah,
time
yeah,
from
yeah,
every
yeah.
business.
every
Tell
time.
her. No.
And then when she has enough cups, she dumps them into the ball pit and goes for a swim.
You have enough mugs to actually do that.
Anyways. So, we have a couple of problems. Thrush's room definitely shows signs that he was, if not intentionally, was somehow definitely paranormally active and aware. Number 12 repeating over and over again, not necessarily as part of whatever issue he might have had. Combined with the information that you all provided, plus the fact that in addition to all of that, one of the books that he had pertained to the farm in which Yylor was discovered initially on Earth.
It is caramel.
Indicates some sort of connection there. What we need to do to eliminate.
But it's caramel.
Take a regular, okay?
There are a lot of different options that we have for what could be going on. In order to gather the information we need to eliminate several of those options, we need to perform an autopsy. And we need to have one of us present. The most efficient way that I can think of to have one of us present for the autopsy is to introduce some sort of potentially lethal foreign contaminant into Thrush's room as a bit of evidence for the necessity of an autopsy, as well as evidence for why the head of the science team would need to be in there to identify the substance.
If only we could get hold of those ashes.
I am. One of my theories covers that, but we need to do the autopsy.
Okay. What if we got some sort of ashes? Like, I can burn some plants or something, and we say that these are the ashes.
It would have to be something that the initial security team would have missed.
I'd have to see his room. We could hide it in a section of his room.
I'm imagining a residue rather than an object. Something that we could something that could be sprayed across his table or across the floor that I could discover with scientific implements.
I could put a residue like on his mattress.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We just need a residue.
Like underside of the mattress or something. Somewhere it might have been missed.
Someplace that he would have come in contact with it, but that they would have missed it on a cursory glance.
Okay.
Because
I can go like mad scientist and mix up some stuff and burn it, and
we don't necessarily need to burn anything.
Well, to make it look like ashes.
It doesn't have to look like ashes. We don't need ashes.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine then.
We just need a residue.
I can just mix some stuff
Something
up.
aerosolized, maybe.
Okay, no.
Because if we drew the ashes under suspicion, then that draws a whole number of other problems.
Yeah.
You're fine.
When the security team does their initial sweep, do you guys know what they actually looked for and where they looked?
No, not necessarily. Well, I guess we can read the report.
Yeah, we got access to the reports.
We can go take a look at the report.
Actually, can I pull the reports up on my tablet?
Absolutely.
So I'll
Okay,
look through. I'll look through the initial security team report and see what they found and what they searched through.
For Scott Thrush's room?
Yeah.
So security was called because Scott Thrush was late for shift, which is the first ever security team dispatched. Rung door, no response. Page, no response. Used override code, found Scott Thrush laying dead on floor. Called medical, determined dead on spot. Time of death would have been presumably sometime around midnight day before, based off of reports. Deterioration. An investigation of room showed nothing out of the ordinary.
So they didn't do a very thorough job.
Did
They
they?
just looked
Yeah.
around and
Did they
didn't see
indicate?
anything and just left.
Do they indicate what methods they used to investigate?
Probably didn't. If they didn't see anything suspicious, they would have just picked them up and moved them out.
Picked them up, moved them out. Follow-up was they checked no signs of contaminant in any food, but they couldn't find any traces of food that he had eaten there left over because everything was perfectly clean. Blacklight, no bodily fluids of any kind, perfectly clean. No footprints, no fingerprints, because everything is perfectly clean.
So we need something that wouldn't show up on a blacklight.
Well, they wouldn't have necessarily gone underneath a bed or things.
Something where he could connect to it, something that wouldn't necessarily show up on a blacklight, and something that the residue of it wouldn't be visible to the naked eye. Doctor and or
There's
botanist.
something on the ceiling?
Probably on the floor. Or on the desk.
They would have used a blacklight on the floor.
That's why I say. That's why we need something that won't if you can think of something that wouldn't show up.
That
on a
isn't
black
going to show up on a black light?
Yeah.
Can I think of anything, any chemicals, herbs, or
Either
anything
one of these two.
that isn't going to
Water?
show up on a black light?
I mean, as security team members, do we know what a black light tends to highlight?
Bodily
Yeah.
fluids.
Yeah, just any
That's
kind of
the
fluids.
primary.
It's carbon.
Like, does it react to carbon specifically?
Well, there's a lot of different things that leave traces.
I'm hoping that between our security team, our medical officer, and our botanist, we can come up with a substance that could be convincingly
So
left as a residue.
any
Doing
biological stains, most commonly saliva, semen, urine, and blood show up. Any sort of laundry or detergent or soap stains will show up. Any club sodas or any liquids containing quinine, so sodas or carbonated beverages. Anything invisible inks made from lemon juice or similar compounds, so citrus or acid-based inks. And then
Poisons.
anything that's got whiteners in it.
Okay.
So I'll
What
rattle
about-
off that list of ingredients.
That's what will show up on a black light. So anything that
What
fluoresces.
about something like herbs, like ground into some form of a paste or something?
That's biological,
Yes, that probably would.
but it's not like a bodily fluid.
Anything that has no fluorescent value at all would not show up.
Yeah.
Basically.
But
Well,
Can I think
like
of like some
salts?
herbs and stuff that
Are
I
there,
can
like,
ground into a
salts?
paste that wouldn't show up?
Certain vitamins and minerals don't, and you
Minerals
can
like
OD on those.
Okay.
Right, like iron.
But you would have to chemically extract it from the biological aspects.
Wish my phone wasn't dead. I could
What about our doctor?
look for what I'm looking for. Yeah.
I mean, if that's fundamentally the chemical that wouldn't show up. Like, is this something I can roll for?
Put myself on a watch list and just Google how to avoid a black light.
Well, yeah, like base minerals, iron. I'm trying to think of which ones. I don't have a chemistry back to remember some of that stuff.
I could make a chemistry roll too, I guess.
And just
Yeah.
maybe
I wish I had
just come up with
chemistry.
something. No, I mean I think salts and like yeah, like you said, vitamins. I don't know.
It's 2. Oh, sorry, 20. Other way around. 20 on my 54 chemistry roll.
So we probably come up with some kind of some kind of metal. I mean,
And can I make a biology roll for anything on that roll?
It doesn't have to be real, Austin. You just make sure.
That's. I'm just double checking.
It's the
But
future,
for the
we
most
can-
part, I mean, you can make a roll too. There are a variety of things that do and do not glow under a black light. For the most part, anything that's got biological elements to it will glow.
3 for biology roll for something that wouldn't.
Biologically, almost everything's going to fluoresce under a black light.
Okay.
yeah.
Anything that's a liquid. Chemically, a lot of your base elements won't, but any of
I
your
just need something that's going to be not easily identifiable.
not easily identifiable.
That way we could call
well,
for
that's why I was
for
thinking
autopsy,
certain
yeah.
salts. I mean, like a complicated salt, because that would have, as long as you leave phosphorus out of it, you know, and
Yeah. You can come up with you can come up with a myriad of different
potassium.
derived chemicals that you
Yeah.
could technically kill somebody with that aren't they're just not biological.
And I'm also not looking for it to be something that can kill. Just something
You
that
just have something
that is unidentifiable, thus could be assumed to have be a lethal contaminant.
and
Something that the first security team would have missed in their sweep.
Yeah, because
it's-
they choose black light.
because they just used a black light and didn't necessarily do a
Yeah,
touch
you
search
you
or
can
anything.
you can find some something that is derived from plant compounds, but it is not
Okay.
itself.
So between the three of us, I have an idea of what we could do.
Okay.
So here's my plan, and let's see if anybody hates it drastically or not. We create this compound, have the security team go and secrete it in a couple of places, around his room.
Mercury.
There you go. And then the two of you doing a secondary... Something just sparked your curiosity, so you wanted to do a secondary sweep. And upon doing a touch test of a couple of different surfaces, you happen to feel something not quite right with the surface. You called in someone from the science team to check it out, discovered a mystery compound, and that's why we need to do an autopsy to see if any of this compound is extant on the inside of the body.
Sure.
Either in their
I'll try
stomach
that.
or somewhere else.
That sounds good.
That also would then require, that would theoretically require the science officer who discovered the compound to be there present for the autopsy. And if Tarn's doing the autopsy, I'm not too concerned about having to get it by him.
Yeah, Tarn doesn't necessarily seem to be out to halt us in any real
He's
capacity.
just also not out to help
No,
us.
he's just a jerk.
He doesn't care if we succeed. He just doesn't want to help us succeed. So.
I mean,
And all else fails, I'll have to convince the other medical officer that the compound is potentially lethal. And if we don't find it, we don't find it.
Here we go. Mercury chloride.
Okay. Yeah, that'll
It's a
do better.
common lab reagent that is extremely toxic to humans.
There we go.
So
There
it's
we go.
something that he might have used in laboratory experiments.
Yeah,
It's
that'll
very
work.
dangerous to
Okay.
humans. It's not a common thing encountered, so you're not going to find it. It's not organic. It's not going to show up under black light. And it's a powder, not a liquid.
So we just have
So
to
it's
find,
not there.
yeah,
It's
so
not
we
going to leave a
found some-
stain.
Yeah.
Okay.
So. You find
We just
something.
happened to find it in a
You
obscure place.
Something felt weird. Something felt weirdly tacky,
Yeah.
and so you called somebody in to check it out so that you weren't potentially poisoning yourselves. Is it a contact poison or is it a?
It
It's
seeps
ingestion
into the.
poison.
If it's mercury related, it could seep into your
It
fingers.
could seep
but,
in, but in its powdered form, it
in
would
powdered
have to.
form,
It would probably
yeah.
be liquefied to seep in.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it
so
won't,
powdered
right.
form works then.
Yeah.
If you washed your hands well, it'd probably come off.
Not to mention, a lot of stuff with mercury will end up killing you through like some kind of brain damage type of stuff normally, so that would be something that wouldn't be immediately evident on a body that died.
Exactly.
So.
Yes. Yeah,
and
so
also,
that's better.
it's standard procedure when you're going over a crime scene is to use gloves anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
No, because I'm talking about
No, I'm talking about
With
with
him
like
dying.
us.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about
But
being able to
It's a
find
white powder, so it'd be hard to show up on a white glove normally. But you
it
don't
would
wear white
be-
gloves.
there'll be
You
the
wear gray
blue
gloves.
ones. Green. Okay.
Gray.
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 so
Okay.
if that sounds like it'll work for everybody,
Yeah,
we can go ahead and set
we'll do that.
All right. We set that in motion.
All right.
This slightly complicated method of getting an autopsy done,
So-
and also having someone present for it.
When are you doing this?
First thing in the morning. We can go.
Go ahead.
I mean, we're still on shift.
Oh yeah,
should-
we need
uh,
to slip.
You're
Wait,
not
next
on. You're
night?
not on shift. You volunteered to do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, we volunteered for the
okay,
shift,
so if we find it during the night, well, you guys head off to bed.
We'll need to do it. We'll need to get it
We
put
need to
in
get some
place
sleep.
now.
We need to get some sleep. But
We'll get it put in place now.
okay, yeah, we'll file,
You guys
file
find
a
it-
report.
You guys file the report.
Yeah.
We'll actually include. Let's do it this way. Rather than you guys found somebody, file the report in the morning after your shift is done, requesting for scientific
take a
personnel
look
to
at
come
it.
take a look at it,
Right.
and then we'll move it
So
from
we
there.
have, yeah, got it.
So
But first, eat more of these. Give me a piece of the caramel sushi.
Caramel sushi. He doesn't want to eat anything.
You just drink it, or you're
No, that's
drinking your
coffee.
coffee?
He's
Coffee
drinking
is
his canned coffee. That disgusting
Eat it.
pre-made.
She ate it. Eat it.
Just kind of sticky.
I'm petty enough to spend sanity to rocket it across the room.
That's what I was thinking you were going to
Spence.
try.
She won't kill you.
That depends on how much velocity is behind it.
Are you that petty?
I rolled a 13 on my 10% sleight of hand. I'm going to spend 3 points of luck to sleight of hand it away.
So do I
you think he ate it.
Here?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you think, yeah.
Thank you.
So anyway. Good use of luck points.
I mean, you know.
That is.
As I walk out, step around the corner, dump it out of my hand into a trash can. All right.
I'll
At
finish
least you
whatever
had the
roll I did.
social graces to not just throw it away. Wait, no, not throwing it away was just so you wouldn't get forced to have more.
After that, she's gonna make sure she cleans everything up. She puts the tables back. She cleans
That
up.
is exactly why he didn't just throw it away.
Stores the rest of the caramel sushi.
No,
in the
I'm
refrigerator.
gonna finish this caramel sushi.
I think between all of us,
Oh,
the
okay.
sushi gets thoroughly finished.
Well, never mind
Yeah,
then.
because you only have like.
Grandpa
one,
Joe
two,
doesn't
three,
get any
four, five,
caramel
six.
sushi.
Oh.
Grandpa Joe is probably totally fine with that.
So
I try to
okay.
help with cleaning out.
So just to
whatever's in it,
clarify,
yeah.
so to clarify our plan of attack.
Yes.
Tonight, before we go to bed, the scientific people are going to generate the substance, the mercury chloride.
Wait, am I part of this?
I mean,
No, she has to clean up the stuff.
the
You
two of us
take
can
it.
probably do it by
Yeah,
ourselves.
you guys can do it.
And
And
we're
we just
gonna
need the
generate the mercury chloride powder, hand it off to the security team who are going to go secrete it in the room somewhere. Believe it.
No, we're just gonna hand it in what we found.
We're going to hand it to you so that you can put it on the. You need to put it on the surface and let it stick. Then you're putting in a report that you discovered something. You found some sort of mystery
Oh,
substance.
you're gonna go look at it later.
Yeah, you put in a report that you found some sort of mystery substance in the room, and you aren't able to identify it, but you're requesting a member of the science team to come take a look at it.
Okay.
As the head of the science team, I should be the person that gets asked to select an individual to do that. That individual will be me. I go confirm that it's this potentially lethal contaminant that would have been very easily missed on the initial pass through, thus recommending an autopsy with scientific personnel present in case there's more of it present in the person's system. That way we get to the autopsy and we can confirm we can mark off a few of our potential options as to what actually happened to Josh.
Got it.
And
And then
hopefully
we all go to bed for the night.
and hopefully Thrush is not a cocoon for a new monster that will erupt into being.
Well, no,
as
it'd
soon
be
as we
nice to
start the
get
autopsy.
if we find that out, then we just go ahead and burn and singe and destroy and all that.
We will know if that's the case based
Yeah.
on who the autopsy surgeon is.
That's true too.
Because Tarn knows he'll send somebody else.
Yeah, and if Tarn knows us and the other person.
Well, then you just take your flamethrower with you. And then you
Other
require
medical
security.
officer shows up. Crap.
Yeah, the other. I walk into the room. The other medical officer is there. I just go, fuck.
We're going to die.
Just call security.
Darn it. No. Oh.
All right. So with that having been explained, GM, we do that.
Cool. It's a lab compound. You don't have to do anything weird. You just get some.
Yeah.
Aerosolize it.
So he synthesizes it. So you synthesize
We
it.
got
He doesn't need to
figure out- we
synthesize
just-
it. He's
we just-
probably got some.
Yeah.
Cool.
Put it on a glove. Hey, look, my glove's got this stuff on it, and there's some on the room.
Yeah, got it.
File report requesting, glove put in a bag. Requesting some scientists to come down and look at it. No response because Marine is sleeping, like a sane person.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
we
The
go
idea is
sleep.
that'll happen in the morning.
Yeah,
Everybody
everybody
goes to bed.
Yeah.
Everybody goes to bed.
Yay! We all go up and put 20 points. Right?
With coffee.
Coffee before bed. It's good for you.
As we're done cleaning up, you see her just take the pot.
As it
Can I
turns
have
out,
some more? Just a little more. Just another cup or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, no, here. There you go.
I take another cup.
As it turns out, you had enough coffee that it does not stop you from sleeping at all.
Yeah, because at a certain
Because
level,
at a
your
certain
caffeine
point,
tolerance
you're-
kicks
Yeah.
in, and your body just goes.
She just falls asleep with like a half full
I
pot of coffee next to
I
her.
routinely fall asleep with half a cup of coffee or half a can of Coke or something next to me. Caffeine does not keep me awake.
But yeah, and then before going to bed, I will write a letter.
All right.
Dear Josephina, it has
No,
been
it will not be
375 days since the last time we spoke.
It will not be foretelling any police officers shooting each other, no.
Can you hand me another yoo-hoo?
Not if it talks.
Yahoo!
Okay.
It took me forever to figure out that Yoo-hoo and Yahoo were not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had that confusion when
One's
I
an
was younger
A,
as well.
one's 2 O's.
Thank you. I promise not to throw any dice at you for the rest of tonight.
The hat's already gone. There's no longer a hat.
The dice
Yeah,
almost
no,
over.
I'm just promising not to throw dice at him in general because
Is that a thing you want to do normally?
sometimes.
Yes.
Very
Also,
frequently,
it's dangerous
especially when I make
because
bad
I
puns.
hit other things because I can't aim because I throw like a girl.
You just can't aim in general. We've discovered this with Arizona Sunshine, too.
Well, then just make good puns then.
Yeah, we did. That's right.
Yeah, that's when William said he was
Why
never
would I do
afraid
that?
of me accidentally shooting
Well,
him
you
if I
didn't
got
do
hold of a
that.
gun.
No, if it was accidental, it'd be totally different.
Yeah, not afraid of you intentionally shooting. I agree.
Right.
Regardless, so
So we go to bed.
you all go to bed.
Oh, what if I do that again?
I said we need to do it with Zach at some point because he's never.
Go to ISMU VR and
Yeah.
do a
It'd be
4-player.
nice for
Arizona Sunshine.
Austin didn't get come last time.
Yeah, get Austin in there too.
You.
'Cause you actually handled VR pretty well.
Yeah.
We did that reporting.
It's because I have photophobia, photosensitivity problems, and sensory problems, not flashing light seizure issues. So they're
We should-
different
we should-
causes. So you wake up in the morning.
I actually have like free game time for my birthday at ISMU VR.
Pardon me.
Anyways, I checked my
Yes.
messages.
So first thing that's really going to happen is you're Duncan. You wake up and you've got a report issued.
Yes.
Someone appears to Gora has filed a report to you as head of security to send a scientist down to investigate
God
a mysterious
damn it.
substance.
What? Oh. I do what?
As you look up, the uniform sitting in your closet is got the lieutenant insignia on it.
You got promoted!
I got promoted.
You went from being a petty officer
Yeah.
to a lieutenant.
It happened again!
Congratulations.
Promoted Duncan!
Oh.
Out
It
of
happened
all
again!
the options!
What?
Unless everyone in the
What?
security team died except those two,
Seriously,
who
why is she
promoted
not?
Duncan?
I was like, who brought a Duncan over Gora?
Yeah! I was
How old are you, Gora?
That's very. Gora's
Gora's
younger.
younger.
She's younger.
Yeah.
She's a kid.
but more logical.
No.
No offense.
I know
Weren't
what
there
I'm doing.
other people in the security team, though? Weren't there?
No.
There
The
were
security team was like 5 people.
It was 7 people originally.
Yes.
5 people.
Now it's
All
5
of
people.
them more qualified than Duncan.
No, not all of them.
No.
No, not all of them.
At least one of them.
There was a Reddick in there.
Yeah, there was a Riddick.
Lynn Reddick is not more qualified than Duncan.
At least one of them.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Oh,
so I've got a report that, and I know what the report says because I already.
because you wrote it.
Because I already wrote it, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, I recognize the
Hey,
glove.
so you can file that. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so now I gotta.
It's picking off people.
So now you file the request for Galladier to go inspect.
I filed a request to take care of that,
So you get a message that the
Lieutenant
Lieutenant, what's your last name?
Buick?
Buick.
Lieutenant Buick, Chief of Security, has requested that you go investigate a strange substance found in the room of Scott Thrush.
Make a saving throw.
Make a sanity roll. Because Lieutenant Buick just came across your screen.
I failed.
You lose 1 sanity point. Because you were like, why would they promote Buick? Why Duncan?
29.
My number one concern of what happened to the previous.
So,
You don't know yet.
so
Oh, yeah.
I mean, out of character.
I take a screenshot. And I take a screenshot and I crop down to Lieutenant Buick, head of security.
Do you give
And
one
I
or do you
send
just send it to
that.
everybody?
I just send that image to everyone else.
Gora wakes up to a text.
You know,
I'm going to run down the entire security team if that's try to see if anyone else vanished.
oh yeah, I would do that too.
How many
Just
people
see
are
if
on the
anybody-
security
check
team
personnel.
now?
How many
Security.
people are?
There are 5 people on security team.
Still.
Lieutenant Duncan Buick, Chief Petty Officer Gora Hazuki,
Yep.
You still
Kinda
have
got-
emotion. You
Hey,
So we're
congratulations.
still in charge.
um,
Than the others.
Ensign Lynn Reddick.
Oh no.
Liz,
There is, and then
2 others.
2 others you don't recognize the names of. There is a recruit, John Frazier.
We're
I know
gonna
John
look
Frazier.
into-
There's a John Frazier that works at actually went to school with Kimberly.
Oh, cool.
I'm sure it's the same guy.
Probably
He's a
is.
really nice guy.
And Junior Lieutenant.
Lieutenant. Junior Lieutenant.
Junior Lieutenant Emily Chin.
What was the name of the
Is it Emily Chin or Emma Lee Chin?
Emma?
Emily.
The captain was
Chin.
Shinju.
Okay,
So
so
Shinju,
Shinju.
okay.
No,
Alright.
no relation.
So it's not the okay.
Whoever
It-
they are,
it's-
we're going
it's
to
a-
want to look into both of these people.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I think they're just
yeah.
randoms that got promoted.
I know.
No,
but I'm
no,
still. We're still looking.
We still need to look into
If you look through it, you will recognize they're both frequenters at the Rogue.
Okay, alright, so they
They're
were.
people you
They
knew,
were people.
but previously, John was sort of a layabout who wasn't sure what he wanted to do with his life. And his parents were trying to get him to figure something out so he could get his own place.
Turns out reality warping helps with that.
And then Emily was a nice little old lady who...
She worked at what?
Picturing like an 80-year-old
Yeah.
woman.
Like,
I had to hire who I could
someone
hire.
in her 50s.
Okay, that's not old, Austin.
No.
No, my grandmother's in her 60s and she's considered old.
Like, when I say a little old lady...
70s now, yeah, but she was in her 60s.
It's
not
how you
long ago.
carry yourself.
Yeah, a little old lady, I'm talking about persona and appearance.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Not age, just everything else.
Aesthetic.
Okay.
Yes, she's a very proper little gray-haired woman who's very kind, but you don't say the wrong things around here because she has no problem grabbing you by the ear, dragging you down to her level, and explaining that kids didn't do this when they were her age, when she was their age.
Get the person Gallagher walks right past.
If somebody was that age.
So
So that's who I would put.
The
in that
funny
position.
thing is that Gallagher is older than her. Because elf.
but it doesn't care. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Not in this world, no.
No.
looking through
That's why I-
medical personnel, if there's any changes there.
Nope.
We just lost.
Yeah, just
Yeah, looking
go-
through my field.
Gorgeous has
Barbers.
like the Henry Cavill moment. The text, fuck.
Yeah. I send a message to Duncan saying set up the autopsy.
Got it.
You've got
Yeah.
two. You've still
It's
got
all there.
2 people under you.
Okay.
Same
and
people.
And in the meantime, I'm going to go gather up the powder.
Check my family.
You wake up. You can hear your mother frying eggs, and your father is joking with her, and then you hear your grandfather watching.
Now you have to check and see if they're still the same people.
It's really creepy the way you're leaning into me right now. Okay.
It's your father, but it's not your father.
You suddenly find out that your nose is shaped differently.
Or that you were.
It's your other mother.
You go outside,
And it's just so looking on the records, I don't see the former my former boss's name on the register.
Pardon?
She is.
Do I see my former boss's name
Yes,
anywhere?
your former boss's name is absolutely on the register.
But she's not.
No, not Marino Card. Sorry,
Okay, all right.
you're
I'm just thinking.
the one you shot.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I'm not worried about her. But yeah, okay.
Versions of
But
this world.
Oshard is
And he gets to the one where everything's
doesn't exist
perfect.
anywhere on the
Yeah,
record.
there's no
Passing
Marino
the
Card.
donuts.
Okay,
What's
so
the
it's just-
donuts?
Okay, so in that case, I go file everything we need to file to get the autopsy out of the way.
And I clean up the rest of
The
it.
thing that you have to lose to achieve perfection is donuts.
Go back in, pull out a vacuum
I'm
cleaner.
fine.
Basically, yeah, scientific vacuum
So,
cleaner.
okay, so who's going to do the
It's a
autopsy?
Cthulhu
Do I,
version.
can I request the other? Well, I guess that is right.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Okay, so I'll just request the autopsy.
Requesting Tarn would honestly be better because that way our wizard friend
Right.
can do wizard things without raising suspicion.
True.
It's true.
Yeah.
So you request for Tarn to do so with a scientific person in the room.
Yeah, I would also like to have the security in the room also.
Okay, who are you sending as security?
Two of us, just because we should be there.
You're not a grunt anymore.
I feel
I
like
know.
an arborist should be there
But
too.
I mean, you know, the two top security people just.
And we should have someone to record the whole event.
This autopsy room is getting crowded. Stop. There's a room right outside.
But I bring coffee.
Stand in the observatory.
We go in and drink coffee while we have the masks on.
Actually, you have a reason to be there for like anything significant, just because you are your immediate
Biological?
successor.
Yeah.
Anything
You wouldn't be there for
relevant.
the autopsy, though.
No, not
You
necessarily.
be ready for the report.
Your autopsy is going to be at most a doctor, a scientist, and a security.
Yeah.
Probably a security,
And-
because
and-
doctors
yeah.
don't want multiple security officers chilling.
Yeah.
Right. I
And you
know,
would probably send
Even
a
if the
grunt.
doctor's turn.
I'll send my first in command.
So
Technically, your second in command would be Emily now.
Because I'm chief petty officer.
Oh, petty. Well, I'm gonna send.
Yeah, I mean, you
Gora.
can
Send Gora.
Because you can make.
because you can send whoever you want to, because you're in charge.
Gora is a grunt.
I can
still.
go by myself too.
I'm the head of the grunts.
You are the head grunt.
Head grunt.
Just in case the thing.
I'm calling the brute squad. You are the brute squad.
If you send yourself, you can get out of
The
doing
brute
paperwork.
squad. You are the brute squad.
No, I've got other things to look at now.
All right. So,
So we're going to change some of these things, like drinking on the job is no longer a problem.
You sit back. Chief of security. You sit back. Those blinds porn. All right. That's my
Dude, they're
right
doing
as chief
research.
of security. Time to do some research.
No, I gotta look over some.
I imagine that would be something more along the lines of closed blinds, open weapons locker.
Porn comes in a wide variety for many different tastes.
Yeah, sure.
I'm a gun nut for a reason.
so
I have a good look.
you, Galadir, you get a strange request. They would like you present for an autopsy.
Yep.
Gora, you've been assigned to security detail for an autopsy.
Yep.
And I'm going to go to the
And you're going to be sporting a computer.
go to the rifle range.
Yes.
That's a like Duncan's like, sweet.
I can
I
shoot
have
the big
access to
guns.
all the guns now.
Take the big guns and two of them at a time.
The security department's budget has quintupled overnight.
Gora's still a better shot than you.
I'm working on
He
it.
doesn't care. He has more fun.
Yeah.
Also, what day of the week is it?
It is Thursday.
Okay, so it's
Yeah, how many rounds do I
tomorrow
blow off
that
to increase
Sandra's
my?
gonna be promoted to the head.
Yeah, tomorrow
person
you
thing.
get to be promoted
It's
too.
gonna be a whole thing. Okay.
Alright.
That's also when the quarantine ends.
So
Right.
there is an autopsy.
Oh,
Tarn is standing there in proper medical garb. You'll need to wear one of these, he says, handing you a group of...
Scrubs.
Yes. Scrubs, face masks, hairnet, all that sort of stuff. And he also hands one to Gora.
Get dressed. The fact that you're still here means that there is going to be something popping out of this corpse, right?
If there is, it will be a most interesting experience. Where shall we start?
Start with the head.
Very well.
Take a look at the brain.
Now, there's one delightful thing about cutting open dead bodies, and that's that they don't protest when I use these. He says as he pulls out his, 18th century surgical things.
Go nuts.
He grabs a wooden mallet and a silver chisel. And just gently pop, and you hear a sickening crack, and he just rips the skull open like a melon in a very clean line as he cuts it down. It's a very clean rip, but there's definitely that sort of visceral feel to it.
Oh, yeah.
A clean rip indicating far too many years of experience.
Yes.
I'm
Oh, look, it's a brain. In rather good shape, only problem is it stopped having oxygen delivered to it.
Any other abnormalities about it?
He begins poking and looking about. No, perfectly normal, perfectly normal. Blood flow up until time of stopping. Interesting. The brain just stopped.
Just shut off?
Yes.
No dwindling, no choking out, just light
It's just
switch?
done. That is...
Okay, well, that leads towards one of my theories. Let's move down to the chest.
Yes. If we continue, the incision goes down, and pesky sternum. He again grabs the mallet and the chisel and does a couple quick pops and pulls like a zipper tab up the whole sternum and pulls open the rib cage.
Magically efficient Y cut.
Yes. And he's got it open like a box in front of you. Organs in perfect condition, no damage of any sort.
You say perfect. How old was Thrush?
That's a fantastic question. By records, Thrush would have been 32.
No degeneration whatsoever due to age?
No.
Consistent with a 32-year-old death, or inconsistent?
One might presume this to be a early 20s athlete.
Thrush was not an athlete.
That's not happening.
He didn't have the overgrown muscles that people seem to be so enamored by. But this muscle fiber, he says as he slits open an arm, feel it.
I'll feel it.
This is creepy.
I don't feel like that's standard medical procedure.
I'm wearing gloves, it's fine.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's dead. As far as you know, at least.
As far as has been presented up till now.
Well done.
The muscle is incredibly dense.
Is that density normal?
Well,
Not for-
different types of individuals develop differently, depending on how you exercise. There are what some call show muscles. These are muscles that grow very large and serve purposes, yes, but are specifically targeted to create appearance. Then there is individuals whose muscles gain density and tone as they work muscles that require regular usage. This would be that case. He was not performing any sort of physical routine in an effort to make his muscles grandiose, but rather kept up a very strenuous daily regiment in order to ensure that none of his muscles fell into disrepair.
Any abnormalities in the organs, in the internal organs of the chest?
Well, they haven't aged. I haven't applied any preservative either.
Is he on ice?
No. Doesn't smell either. You gotta pull your face mask down.
The face mask doesn't prevent smells, so.
There you go.
Let's continue on down.
Sure. Continues cutting down through the stomach. Digestive organs in perfect shape. Continues cutting down, and as he pulls the sheet down,
Kendall?
yeah.
Yep.
Alright, confirmation. So, Servant of Yylor discarded their current
Krator.
host. Servant of Krator discarded their current host.
Yes, that would be the presumption.
Why the death was so abrupt, and while sharing similarities to deaths by Servant's monster, did not serve to do the same activity of erasing from the timeline as the Servant's monster does.
Speaking of, we lost our chief of security.
Yeah, which means Servant's monster is still active. And thus the Servant possibly also still active.
And this is why we had Tarn and not someone else.
Yes!
Yeah.
Alright.
It did take a lot of paperwork to avoid anyone looking at that area.
I'm gonna have a hell of a time getting these out, by the way, Holly. I'm gonna have a hell of a time getting these out, by the way,
I
Holly.
can get them out.
Okay.
Just leave them in. Or scissors.
Hedge trimmers.
Braid all the braids into a single braid.
That's what I was gonna do.
A braid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you put blades in all the smaller
No.
Yes.
braids, and then you put a blade on the larger blade, you
I mean, is this okay?
Yeah.
can have braid,
Okay.
blade.
I mean, I thought you liked braids.
I do enjoy braid. It's just like if they get too far back, I have a hell of a time getting them out.
Oh, it's okay. I can take them out before you leave.
Just do asymmetrical braids.
Asymmetrical?
Anyway,
There'll be like extra.
was there anything else you wanted to know about the body?
Anything else I can think of that would be relevant?
I mean,
I can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything either. I just wanted to double check.
shall I dispose?
Yes. Body official statement. Body not contaminated. Contaminant else.
Well, I mean, is there anything in the
contaminated
stomach?
other.
Oh,
Anything in the stomach or anything?
I mean, this
I
Call down.
I mean, it may as well check. See if there's anything in the stomach.
have a look.
Is there anything in the stomach?
You pull it open. There's stomach. You want to massage the intestines and everything?
Oh, jeez.
No.
Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
gonna
Just
vomit.
cut open the stomach and see what's inside it.
He already did cut it.
Oh,
Stomach
yeah.
sitting there. There's organs in there.
So no. The actual.
The actual.
Like actual stomach, not ab area.
There's a lot of stomach parts.
Yeah.
So if you cut into the actual stomach,
Actual.
stomach acids will pour out.
mostly just stomach acid, no
yeah,
food
just
or
all
anything.
that stuff.
I mean, there's what looks to be remains of food, but
Anything
like,
other than food in
nothing you would not expect to be in a stomach
there?
of a
Gotcha.
dead
I
man.
All right.
just didn't know if maybe he swallowed something of great importance before dying. Yep. All right.
Hopefully
Fine.
leave that.
That's it. You can get rid of it. Official report indicating that
Died of natural causes.
lethal substance found in his room,
I'm sorry, I
not
just had
related
this
to
idea
death.
for one here. Sometimes
Okay.
Very well. I'll incinerate this.
Yeah, you should probably do that.
You know, before anyone else freaks out
Actually,
about,
let me get a tissue sample real quick. I'm gonna cut a slice of muscle.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a slice of muscle and a slice of skin and a slice of the heart, and put them in separate vials.
You want to get some brain tissue?
Wouldn't hurt. A bit of brain tissue too,
Very well.
for additional experimentation.
No. Yeah,
And
get rid of
it
that
all-
before anyone freaks out about the completely sexless thing that used to be our botanist.
It's perfectly fine. I've had to burn several of these in the past.
I'm sure.
No hints as to who the new body is. Figured I'd try. All right. Now I'll wrap up this.
Look over at Gora.
Let's look at the others.
Well, that's new information that we didn't have.
It narrows down our options drastically. Yes.
You leave.
Totally. Send out a message to everyone to come up to the lab while I'm doing some tests on these tissues.
Right. So while they were doing that, where were the rest of you?
Sandra is going to, beyond braiding Gore's hair, she is going to check in on Yi, just see how he's doing and stuff.
In the morning, he's not there in the morning. So, because I will have last night write letter to my sister, and then in the morning go to that abandoned deck and just kind of
Leave the
place
letter.
it. Yeah, leave it there in a position that it can be read if you Yeah.
Ah, yes. Leave personal details about your life out, available for the monster to see.
I mean, it already knows those details
It
because it
already-
ate that person.
Yeah, it already knows it took his sister.
Hasn't eaten him though.
I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
All right.
I'm kind of in mourning over a person that never died. It's a very confusing thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they did die, you just don't remember them.
Kyle, what you doing?
Thanks for a reminder.
Sorry.
Don't really have much to do right now.
It's not our
I'm
fault you're a bad
waiting
brother.
on everyone else to see what they find out. I guess just in case we survive this, I'm going to continue working on the book.
All right.
Just in case we survive this.
And Duncan, what you doing? Oh yeah, that's right. You're
I fired off a few
Yeah,
rounds,
gun
and then I gotta go. I gotta make plans to check everybody's room and see who's the neatest. I gotta figure out some way of accessing information on everybody in a ship.
Oh no.
We gotta
What?
find out. I mean, no, I don't want to make it too much of a police state, but we gotta be able to find out a way to.
So there
Check
are
everybody's
security
room.
cameras in literally everyone's room. However, they're on mandatory shutdown because Brian O'Card thinks it's unethical to use them.
Oh, well, simple. Okay, let's get online.
Oh,
They're shut down at a level you can't access.
Okay, well, not
So
yet.
we need the monster to eat Brian O'Card.
Oh, no.
Let's start leaving letters all over the
Promote-
deck.
promote Duncan up to captain of the ship.
Yes, captain of the ship.
No! No.
Okay, we don't need to eat Brian. We should eat the captain then.
Hey, you know, it's not the worst thing that could happen. Tarn could get promoted.
Tarn might get promoted.
Tarn could promote himself.
Let's not play Russian roulette with the leadership of this ship, shall
To
we?
clarify, Tarn doesn't have a rank.
Oh yeah, Tarn can't get promoted.
Yeah, let's
You assume that's what that
Technically,
means.
Tarn doesn't even have the doctor in front of his name because he didn't finish. He doesn't have any degree.
let's
He's simply allowed to be the chief surgeon because he's the best at it.
let's not play Russian roulette with this ship's organization, shall we?
That was not that's not a genuine idea. It was just funny. Anyways,
No, we need to try to figure out who's next.
absolutely. But there was I'll send out a meetup call for the lab and I want to basically be running tests on
How
those.
many layers deep is this braid going?
There so many, why?
Like, are you going to do a bunch of braids, 3 braids out of those braids, and then all 3 of those braids into one more braid?
Working
or?
on it.
Okay.
I want to be running tissue sample tests on
So 3 layers deep of braid.
the bits that I took
God.
to see
Even
what
more, yes.
see if there's any physical differences between those and normal humans, or any like latent weird things.
Do you have any sort of biology or botany knowledge?
I do not. I will have the samples
Well, we're all
running
getting-
and wait for
we're all
our
getting
doctors to
together.
get here to look at it.
Since we're all getting together.
You want to call your biologist?
Yeah, well, I did call everybody, so.
Okay. So you all report up to the lab.
Sure.
Yep.
You can do that.
So, first of all, I need somebody to
Hold
run
on.
tests on these
Hold on.
samples.
Hold on. Step 1. I need... Gore, did you go up with him
Yeah.
straight from the lab? Okay. I need...
The braid I can kill someone with.
Just need to attack.
Yee. Roll me spot hidden.
Yeah.
Blade braid.
Attach an axe blade to it.
Yee, roll spot hidden to see if you see monster.
I will
Yeah.
take it out.
31 of
It's
25.
already falling out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Do you want to spend luck?
He doesn't have much.
I don't
That's
have
only
enough
6 points.
out of my 13.
It's only 6.
Out of
I've got
13.
27 luck.
Do you want to not spot the thing that kills you?
Or your sister.
Only 6 points.
Or, yeah, who knows? It might just be somebody.
Is this-
who's
Am
It
I
might not be
am I
good.
allowed to know where I'm making this this observation check?
No.
Where in the ship?
Dang.
Somewhere between the deck where you left the letter and the lab.
just run fast.
It's okay. You only
just
have
saying you
you
don't
only
want
have
him
a
to do
luck
it. I
score
personally
for the
think it's
length
really
of time
good
we're
idea.
playing Call of Cthulhu, or until you die.
What do I see?
Yeah.
All right. as you're walking down, you notice that there's a variety of footprints that are left on the ground. This is not a sanitary environment, despite your best efforts. There's dirt, there's dust, there's grime. And most people have very similar boots. As you're going through the elevator and you're getting off, you notice that one of the passages you went down has barefoot prints.
One of the passages in the abandoned?
No, not in the abandoned. You got in the abandoned. You got in the elevator. The elevator that takes you to the abandoned area is a different elevator than the other people would have taken. So you let off on a different point in the room. There's multiple elevators. There's localized elevators, and there's the main elevator shaft. And you have to take the main elevator shaft to get to the abandoned decks. So you have a longer walk on the deck where the lab is, and on one of the passageways, you saw footprints of somebody who was barefoot.
Barefoot in the populated area.
This is on the science deck, where all of the arborist is that way, the science labs are that way.
Is the autopsy lab on that floor?
Pardon?
Is the autopsy lab on that floor?
Yes.
Also, my room is on that floor, I imagine.
No. You live residential.
Okay.
Where are the footprints headed? And are they like in dust or in...
So the footprints are notable because so this floor, because there's the arboreum here, this floor is actually typically the dirtiest and there's soil and stuff. And there are what look to be clean footprints where a barefoot has picked up dirt off the floor,
Which one?
walking away from the arboreum.
Wait, what's walking away from the
It's
arboreum?
walking past the arboreum. Barefoot
Somebody
footprints.
Past it?
Yeah.
Or from it?
It's hard to tell because you can't see a lot of detail, but it starts going towards it and then it's going away from it. They may have gone into it and then left it, or they may have gone past it.
I'm just wondering if it started at the arboreum, but it didn't.
It did not. It didn't. It's not like a unique thing that came out of the arboreum. You notice the ones coming out of the arboreum when you follow it back. You saw the ones that were going to it as well, or at least maybe going past it. You're not sure.
Track it back or track it forward?
Pardon.
Tracking it forward, I'm never going to be able to catch up with it. So I'm going to track it backwards. Try and see where it came from.
All right. Roll me another spot hidden.
That's a 50-something.
Okay. Once you get out of the dirty area in front of the arboreum, which is about 20 feet in either given direction of it, there's nothing for the tracks to be left in, and presumably the feet were clean before stepping into the dirty area, so there wasn't any dirt being left by them that you could see.
So it'd be possible to track them forward because they would have stepped through dirt and
Possible.
tracked it along.
I'm going to go ahead and try and see if I can get to a point where I can snap a picture of the trail decently well, and then
Yeah.
shoot a message to
Just right into that one.
Sandra. Anyone barefoot been in the arboreum recently? With the picture.
You are not allowed to be in any lab barefoot for a variety of reasons. In fact, you are not supposed to be barefoot anywhere outside of a residential area.
No, you're not supposed to be barefoot, like, outside of, like, your own place, but definitely not in the arboreum.
And I think we might have something to track here.
I'm headed your way.
Are you guys... Wait, sorry, was that conversation taking place via...
Between the two of them.
Message to Sandra.
She will go meet him, like, around the arboreum.
You take a left instead of a right,
Yes.
and you go to the arboreum.
Yeah. Okay.
Hoping to...
So, it's like they left the arboreum, or they were walking past?
Roll me spot hidden.
36 of 63.
36 of 63. Okay. So normal success, you can't tell. They definitely were on one side of the Arboreum, and the tracks go to the other side of the Arboreum. You're not sure if in the middle they went into the room or not.
Okay.
It's bi-colors.
And it's also my favorite color.
I mean,
But does so? Are there any? Would there be any tracks in? Because the Arboreum would be kind of dusty and dirty, right? As well, or
You don't know. You've never really been to the Arboreum.
look for. I mean, does the floor of the Arboreum get dirty enough to show this?
Sandra's gonna go in.
I mean,
Arboreum.
So there would be the two people working there, just so you're aware.
Yes.
You do know. Okay, so
That's fine.
the floor of the
I'm
Arboreum,
gonna be their boss.
yes, it gets dirty. And my goodness, if Scott Thrush hasn't been there in a couple of days, they're not going to be cleaning up as well as they need to, because they're probably like, haha. I mean, we're all sad that Scott Thrush is gone, but
we're not sad that the government.
we don't miss him as a boss. There is a entry room where you're supposed to wipe your feet and all that sort of stuff, but if you're not doing it so well, it's real easy to track soil out of the Arboreum. And if you don't scrub the floor every night, you're going to build up some soil, because guess what you work with? Water and soil.
Yeah.
The soil is made of dead people.
The
Thank
soil is
you.
dead people.
You're welcome.
And
So true.
dead meat puppets. We've discovered.
I mean, and what's the difference between a dead people and a dead meat puppet?
So
It's just been recycled.
she's gonna do a quick search of the
Mostly it's sentence.
All
Like,
right.
the
So
question is if you can see like footprints immediately coming inside.
It looked like they were going past, didn't it? They just happened to track through the dirt that was being tracked
it's
out.
hard
We
to
can't tell.
it's hard to tell, and the first thing you open is a foot scrubbing doormat. There's no way you could see a barefoot footprint on that.
Yeah.
It's meant to rub dirt off your feet.
Okay.
It's dirty.
Okay.
You can find, one of the people that are good at tracking things that are going to be in the science lab momentarily.
I mean, see, because it was the problem. The
That's
thing
what I'm
that it
talking
was
about.
tracking because it was a clean foot going over a dirty floor. That would still apply inside.
Would it
The
apply
Arboreum.
outside?
Yeah, you should be able to.
If they walked any further than that doormat.
Well, okay, you know what? Let's go inside because there are people in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
As if they're going to see a ghost.
Well, do we know if it's a ghost or are these just footprints?
We don't
left
know.
by
It
someone?
could be Thrush's body.
No, it's not Thrush's body.
We don't know anything.
We don't know that. The autopsy's on this floor.
We don't know anything. We're finding out. We just
Let's go.
happened to be walking along the hallway. We saw a massive breach of code, and we wanted to see if that person walked past
If it
here.
was Thrush's body, it would be tracking more than just bare footprints.
Because you'd be hanging out.
Because lots of stuff was cut off.
Okay, so they go in.
All right.
Sandra-
You walk in.
Wipe him
You walk
while
into
you
the
walk
first
through.
room.
Yeah.
Wipe your feet off. Open the entry door. Walk in. You see your two usual co-workers who will be underlings tomorrow. The older one, she is doing her job, dutifully making sure all the plants are healthy and stuff.
Insert.
The other one is lounging back in a chair and looking through some readings. And she's working, but she's doing the least work she can to get away with it.
Sandra's gonna go out behind. She's like lounging back in a chair.
Let me see if she notices you come in.
It took me a few tries before I figured out the right swing. Once I had a zombie.
Are you going to be a tyrant?
So she doesn't notice but the nice older one notices.
Sandra
Waves.
will wave, and then go over
It's
to the
really
other.
good. It's a really good
I
game.
need to
You should
establish
definitely get it.
authority, or they won't respect me.
Oh,
You don't have authority yet.
So I'm about to.
it doesn't
And
matter.
oh, shush. And she's going to take the chair that she's leaning back in and just
Dump her.
tip it.
That's not how you establish authority.
It's how I establish authority.
Also built into the ground.
Dang
Yeah,
it.
it's bolted down.
I mean, I feel like a
Well,
simple
then she'll
sneaking
go
up.
up behind her and
push
Why
the
would
chair
you-
back up.
No.
Why would you do that?
Why would you
Why
do
not just
that?
clap your hands
No.
instead of
It's
assaulting
not
someone?
hard. It's not hard. It's like that.
That's
Also,
still assault.
that's technically would not be appropriate behavior as a.
Dang it. Okay.
Just say hi. What you doing? Like that's
Okay.
simple, you know,
Okay.
no?
She will.
She will.
You're also
Stop.
Sandra, not
Yeah,
Tarell.
Stop channeling Tarell.
Okay. She will lean over then and put like her face on the girl's shoulder.
Oh,
What you doing?
There you go.
just
Waiting for the plants to grow.
reviewing reports. We were working on a strain. Look, see, it's trying to get a higher bounty of tomatoes to grow.
Uh-huh. Do we need some coffee?
Look,
The coffee queen of the arboretum.
Yes.
you're not even supposed to be here right now. I thought you had the day off.
Am I not allowed to check up? I haven't been here in a few days.
Yeah.
I need to make sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to.
I'm gonna save that for when you actually are the boss.
In 24 hours?
Yeah.
Told you.
Well, I figure I might as well check up ahead of time, make
Or
sure no one's slacking
22.2
off.
hours.
Plants are all alive, right? Oh, everything's fine. Don't worry.
When did Tarn get here?
No, it's the
No,
old lady.
that's the old lady.
That's the old lady.
Sounds like Tarn.
It's Tarn's
Maybe.
mother.
No, he killed her.
No, I remember her.
Tarn killed his mother.
It's Tarn's grandmother.
It's everything's okay. Don't worry. She says as she's going through the plants and pruning
I
and
feel like
stuff.
I've been a bad influence on you. I feel like this is Gallager's fault
I-
directly.
Well, I just wanted to take a look at everything.
Cool.
Notice if she has her shoes on.
Yeah, shoes are on, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're both in uniform.
Sandra,
Yeah.
Sandra rapidly
Also-
learning why Gallagher works alone.
Just a question for you guys. Was anyone else in here with you today?
No, we just started shift.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Was someone supposed to be here?
No, I'm just asking.
It's a real quick way to get psych evaluated again.
You want to roll me a deception?
It's okay. He's psych evaluated. I don't have deception. Oh, what would deception be here? Can I use charm?
Yeah, so deception based on how you're trying to deceive. You either roll a charm roll, an intimidate roll,
Or a fast talk.
persuade roll, or a fast talk roll.
I would argue charm in this particular case.
Sure, roll
I
me
have
charm.
charm.
Roll me charm. Because you're just trying to be charmingly ignorant.
That was a 78 of 75.
You only have to spend 3 luck.
I will spend 3 luck. I
luck.
have enough luck right now. Can I have a pencil?
Yeah. Whatever.
Just curious.
I will say though, this genome is quite interesting, she says, looking at it again.
What
Like,
is it
if-
she's looking at?
Roll me botany.
A tomato.
Oh no.
89 of 98.
So she's looking at a gene strain
I see
and
where this is going.
she appears to have isolated down to which gene triggers a root survival instinct, which causes the plant to go into a... Basically, when the plant's in survival mode, it doesn't produce as much. And she's found the gene, and it looks like she's been experimenting with cutting that gene down even further to basically cause the plants to absorb massive numbers of nutrients, but simultaneously massively increase production. And it looks like she's evaluating a couple different charts about how that will, is the increase in resources versus productivity a net gain, a net loss, a break even, an increase in speed maybe, but not efficiency.
There's nothing.
She
out.
is a brilliant botanist.
There's
She's
nothing
just
out of the normal here, though.
no.
Okay.
I mean, it's a fascinating topic. Just a lot of number crunching and stuff. It's the sort of thing she likes to do, where she can sit and lounge in front of a screen and just sort of like idly figure things out in her brain. Like, okay, I'm gonna just run some numbers. She doesn't like physical labor. She's perfectly fine with like running corner case experiments.
Well, good job.
Okay.
This is where you say carry on and leave.
Carry on.
And leave.
I'm just. I'm just showing the art. What's it called? Arboreum.
Arboreum.
I'm just showing the arboreum to Heath.
Wait, I didn't go in with you.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
you didn't.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, he didn't.
I'm staying outside because I figure I don't have clearance for any of that.
Oh, I thought I brought you in with me.
No.
No.
Just say,
Well,
carry on and
never
then
mind.
leave.
Carry on and leave. I thought he was with me.
Okay. You walk out.
So showing me the arboreum for some strange reason would be another level of deception rolls.
Maybe.
All right. What's next for you two?
Okay. Well, I have no idea.
Let's get a team in, see if we can. Let's get the rest in, see if we can figure out a way to follow these footprints. I lost them. If you could follow them any better than me, go ahead and try. But
But would I have to roll?
Spot hidden.
I'm gonna try.
You already rolled it, didn't you?
to see them,
and
not
to
track
see if
them.
they went into the arboreum.
Not track.
Arboreum.
She was
Whatever.
trying to
Would it not be a tracking roll then if it was tracking? Track is a skill.
Oh, yeah. No, tracking is probably more pertinent for trying to follow the tracks.
I need a pencil.
Okay.
You have a 10%
Can
chance.
You can
I
track.
have spot hidden.
No, for tracking.
Oh, for tracking. Oh.
Track.
10%.
Well, fine. It's a 42, so no.
Okay.
You want to try to track?
I already tried a spot hidden and that roll failed even. Yeah, so.
So, what next for you two?
Should we call the others? If they're done with their whole dissecting of Thrush.
Well, he told you he was, and he was calling you to the lab to discuss it.
Let's
Oh,
go
who
ahead and.
was?
Galladier, that's why you're on this level.
Yeah.
Well, fine then. Let's go. I can't think of what's happening right now. Let's just go.
Alright,
I'm sure Gora could track
I'm
these.
sorry.
She has a number of bizarre skills.
you go to the lab.
Where the rest of us have been waiting.
Let's go to the...
Another boss coffee in hand.
So quick question before we start this meeting or anything. You don't happen to see people walking around on this level barefoot very often, do you?
No. Other than me.
You don't walk her.
What's
You,
supposed to
He
do?
doesn't walk barefoot, no. That's why he's
Well, there was someone walking around barefoot. I could see tracks in the dirt in front of the arboreum.
That's not normal.
weren't there barefoot prints on the ghost deck?
There were footprints on the ghost deck.
No.
Were they barefoot or
No.
regular footprints?
just regular.
I don't recall seeing any.
Well, really quick before we go chasing off after footprints, we did the autopsy, confirmed Thrush was the host for the servant, Kindle, all the way down. Also had very oddly put together musculature and organs.
Like peak physical condition for a 20-year-old.
Yeah, peak physical condition, no signs of aging, didn't decay at all, even though they hadn't put it on ice or anything. I have some tissue samples that we should probably check into and see if there's anything weird about them.
The thing that should concern you though is that means the servant of Praetor, whenever it finds a new body, is probably going to be really damn tough.
Yes. Whatever body it takes control of, it turns into a peak physical specimen. It makes it achieve perfection, which would mean to me that all the talk of perfection was in fact a sign of somebody.
Yeah, this sounds like Stitcher.
Do we know yet how they get the body?
No, not yet. Just know that it has abandoned the one that it had.
Yeah.
This sounds a lot like Stitcher.
Possibly. If we can figure out anything new from these tissue samples, I've got heart, muscle, skin, and brain. Then we might be able to figure out a way to track whoever the next host is going to be. In the meantime, if you two could take a look at that, some of us can go follow those tracks.
Yeah. I would take a look.
Also, I'm going to mention that I'm thinking of the possibility of trying to figure out who becomes a total neatnik right away.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll just keep our eyes open for somebody who's just
Actually,
pristine.
that might be something that our doctor can do if you're doing.
Is
If
Time
anyone
still
suddenly
here or is
develops
it not?
extreme OCD.
You're in the science lab.
Right.
I'll look through. I'll cross-reference that with my past cases as well. But we'll see.
Because we do not know if the OCD is something that it is attracted to, and thus will take hosts that are already that way, or if that is a result of it taking them as a host.
Or if it just makes its own body, in which case we'll find a new person.
I'll see if
or
I
if
can
it's
reference
a-
past
yeah.
history for.
Because, you know, if it has a monster that can remove things from the timeline, maybe it can add things.
That too.
That's it.
So we
I'll
might also
see.
want to look and see if there's any new crew members that have suddenly appeared.
Also, if you can't get anything
We
off
got
of
two
those
new members of
tracks,
security that I've never seen before.
I
No.
looked them up. They've been here before. though.
Okay.
They've hung out at the Rogue.
if you can't find anything on the tracks, I'm sure you could look through cameras as well, see what was walking
yeah.
around.
Wynn was a
Yeah,
servant
actually-
of
I can look
Dylor,
through
right?
people. I know
Cameras
most
are shut
everyone
down,
on
aren't
the
they?
ship.
So
Well, no,
Not-
no,
only
not
the
in the
personal
hallways.
ones.
Oh, all
In the
cameras.
hallways,
Also-
I could
Also, head of security, might want to look into Lynn Redding.
No,
Wow.
cameras are shut down in general. The cameras are
Oh,
just
all
not
cameras?
enacted unless
So-
there's a reason to use them.
Well, I'm gonna, just in the hallways and stuff. It would be nice to. But
Cameras aren't in the hallways.
We're not using.
There's no
it.
cameras in the
Cameras
hallways.
are active in ship functioning offices.
Okay.
So in a lab or a medical bay, there'll be cameras. There's not going to be cameras in any
in a lab,
sort of
like the Arboreum.
in the arboreum. Yes.
But
You could look through that if it went through. If it went in there.
Well, I don't think so because they didn't see. You said he didn't see.
Not
Yeah,
necessarily.
but Gora will follow the tracks and we'll figure out where it came from and where it's going.
Yeah, let's check.
That aside, also might want to look into Lynn Reddick at some point. Wynn was a servant of Yylor. It's possible that Lynn could be a servant of Krator. Or another servant of Yylor, who knows.
Doubt it would be for both. I mean,
Well-
it would be unless.
The father was apparently also a servant
Oh, okay.
of Yylor.
Yeah, we can
so
look into. Okay.
Wouldn't hurt to.
Well, whatever,
Wouldn't hurt to-
whatever background check I can
Yeah.
do on that to see.
It wouldn't hurt to cross that T, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So yeah, let's get to work. I'll go with Gora, and we'll see if we can follow the tracks. If you'll stay here with everyone else in case something tries to attach them, while they do tissue samples.
I'm gonna look through the computer. Oh, okay. I was
Yeah,
also gonna
do
look
the
through the
same.
computer database at everyone and see if anyone new popped up because I know most everyone.
We can definitely
true,
do that, but
yeah.
I'd like to get these tissue samples run first, just in case.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I
then
can
we
start
go
on
back.
those.
Okay. When you start on them, I'll search through the databases.
I at least know my way around a lab enough to get them started.
Kyle, do you want to come with us, or do you want to hang out here?
Who's going where?
Gora and I are going to go track thing. Duggan's staying here for security, and they are doing research projects.
Yeah, sure, I'll go with you.
You got the magic pen. Who knows what he is?
Hey, Dread.
Can stab someone.
That's true.
Oh,
no
we-
other
Use
weapon.
someone else's blood.
Hey,
I
you
was
all
one
got
of those
back
points
a hit point.
Everyone,
point.
yeah, everyone
And
got
you
back a
rested
hit point.
in a safe place. So you get
For a
back
change of pace.
a D6 of sanity.
Yay.
D6
Oh,
insanity. Okay, yeah.
Everyone got back one hit point. Your MP is also full if you spent any. And I get back 5 sanity.
That D6 can't take you past your starting sanity, I'm assuming.
It can't take you past your max. It can always take you past your starting. It just
Okay.
can't take you past your max.
Alright. Well then I go above my starting sanity.
I'm gonna say it can't take you higher than your power.
Okay. Well, then I stay where I'm at. Because I've lost some
Because that's-
sanity and then got it
because
right
the
back.
reason why the maximum sanity is there is for Cthulhu Mythos.
Can I use that?
Because the only thing that reduces your maximum sanity is Cthulhu Mythos.
Yeah. Can't have people being too sane.
Why not?
Yeah, okay, 2 pencils.
All right, and I think with that we are good for the evening.
Alright.
So next week we will be cowboys.
Next week will be Cowboys.
Yes. Yeah, we're doing the one shot next week.
One
Probably
shot
won't
cowboy
be
next.
streaming because
We're not gonna stream
Yeah.
actually.
Not going to stream, so there will be no stream next
No,
week.
no stream.
Sorry, I forgot to tell you.
Yeah, no problem. So
We're
no
not
stream
gonna
next week.
stream it.
That's it.
We'll be resuming the week after. And yeah, say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Farewell.